to Oil and Whiskey, an Ironclad original. I am Josh Henning.
I'm Phil Gerber.
I'm Jeremy Gerber.
Welcome, everybody, back to Oil and Whiskey, an Ironclad original, presented by Blade HQ. Today, we're going to be talking with Ironclad founder and CEO Jeremy Carey. We're also going to be taking some of your listener questions, but first, it's time for On the Gas. In this segment, we want to take some time and shout out an individual vendor, shop, or company that's got their foot on the gas, doing great work, and taking their projects and industry to the next level. Who do we have this week for On the Gas?
Well, this week we're going with a company that will help you mitigate heat, noise, and vibration while you're on the gas in your car. I'm going with Design Engineering Inc. or DEI. They make a whole collection of heat products, of noise, vibration products to really fine-tune your car and kind of help take it to the next level. Once you get the horsepower, the performance, the drivability dialed in, I think it's kind of the next step for us. We've been kind of going to the creature comfort side, fighting harmonics, fighting heat, just trying to make the car as close to an OEM level new car as possible.
Yeah, it's absolutely the next step in obtaining the best ride quality you can. We've talked about it over and over again that the chassis, I'd like to say it's everything. I should say it's everything. But really and truly, there's so much more to a car that, we wrap it all up and it equates to awesome ride quality and all that stuff. If you can get rid of all the harmonics, you get rid of the noise, sound deadening, anything you can do, DEI's got a laundry list of great products that'll help the NVH of your car, improve your build quality, and either heat mitigating, heat reflective, exhaust insulation. It is just go-to stuff.
If it gets hot, they've got something for it. If it's near something that gets hot, they've got something for it. And if it rattles, they've got something for it.
Stick something on it.
Yeah.
That changes the way you build the car. As you start getting more comfortable with your products, you'll start realizing that you want a little heat shield on this fuel filter. You want to insulate this brake line. This is too close to the header. Sometimes it'll get you out of trouble, and sometimes it's just good practice to implement and utilize their products.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Check them out. Design Engineering Inc. at DEI on Instagram. Jeremy Carey is the founder and CEO of Ironclad, as well as filmmaker and director. Ironclad works with some of the biggest brands in the world and creates films, series, and podcasts with people and teams who are the best in the world at what they do. You can follow them on social media at This Is Ironclad. Jeremy, welcome to Oil and Whiskey.
Hey guys, happy to be here. One of the funniest, most entertaining podcasts. No joke. I always enjoy hearing you guys cut it up, and happy to be here.
Well, thank you. We wouldn't
be here without you.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for the...
It's the man behind the name. The Ironclad name, it comes up all the time now in our industry because people know that we're connected with you guys, and we always rave about you guys. And it's...
Well, yeah, dude, and we're in the same boat with you guys. It's funny because we met through an agency style because we do agency work, and that's how we met on that Mechanics Wear shoot. We went to lunch that one day, and then we had you guys on our podcast, and then we reconnected through that. And then when we went on the road tour together, it just evolved and evolved and evolved. Had some other projects in the works. I think there's going to be some bigger ones in the future. So it's cool how it all comes together.
It is. I remember the first time when it was Mechanics Wear you guys came out here. Josh sprung it on me last minute, and me being like, I'm super understanding, very receptive to
Oh yeah, you're
so I'm like,
you go with the flow kind
I'm
of
like,
guy.
are you fucking serious? Glove, we're doing why didn't you say something beforehand? I'm like, this is gonna suck. And then we met you, and I'm like, dude, this dude's pretty badass, you know? And it stuck. We were, so impressed, and it's, like videography, marketing, it's not exactly like a passion of mine or something I really follow, but it was inspiring and super cool, man. It just ideas started rolling and having lunch and shooting the shit.
You've always been impressive and really, we knew that you knew what you were talking about right up until the point that you thought it would be a good idea to put us on a podcast. Then I was like,
we had questions some shit from there.
I don't know if this dude's really as good as we thought.
And he was persistent on getting us on a podcast. We shot it down the first few times.
With you guys.
What's the
I was persistent
hook,
with you guys. Yeah. I just know that when you have chemistry, you can make it happen from there. I just knew that we could come up with something cool. And like I said, I think that this is the beginning of, I think Oil and Whiskey is the foundation of many more things. Like you said, behind the scenes, the listeners don't know is we've had some other stuff in the works on some major streaming platforms, but I think the future is bright for what kind of collaborations that we can do. And this is just the beginning. So yeah, I was persistent. I'm glad you guys finally came to me, hitting you up about it, and now we're doing it.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, before we get into all the crazy stuff that you guys got going on now, which is absolutely amazing to see, even over the last couple of years of the growth, but tell us about your background personally and where it kind of all got started.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my background is action sports. So I grew up surf and skate, and back then. So long story short, my dad owned a small car lot, just an independently owned car lot, buy here, pay here, and people would trade in all kinds of stuff. And one guy traded in a video camera, one of those VHS cameras, for like a down payment on a car. And, he took it home, and I just filmed everything. Back then, there was no social media. We didn't even have a computer at the house. So we were just filming everything with the VHS camera and surf, skate. And then as I got into high school, CKY came out, Bam Margera, all those guys started doing a lot of stuff. And they were pushing the limits with editing and streaming and everything else. And we started basically a skateboard film series called Demolition Death. And Demolition Death was kind of like this stupid skateboard thing. We started doing iron-on shirts to promote it. And it was right on the cusp of social media and MySpace and all that stuff. And those things started selling because Pharrell just came out of Virginia Beach. He was wearing netted hats. We were doing netted hats and shirts. And those took off. So we kind of accidentally, as a kid, became a business. And one thing led to another. And we were selling shirts in all the surf shops and things along those lines. Demolition Death changed to Demolition Incorporated, which shortened to Dim Inc. And then I even tattooed the logo on me. I was all in back
Nice.
then. And
How are you feeling about that tattoo now? It's
yeah,
still pretty...
people don't know what it is. A lot of people think it's a Jewish star because it's like that. It's really
Yeah.
two D's intersecting with one another. I've seen worse tattoos that people made when they were 17 or 18. So
You're right about that.
it's
Josh
not
is
on my
a
lower
sweet
back or
lower
anything.
back tribal.
Yeah, it's not tribal, so you're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so I didn't make that mistake, thank God. But so one thing led to another, and we started promoting this stuff through shirts, and then we became like a clothing line on accident. I'm a kid, and these sports, these surf shops locally are buying our stuff, and then we just kept doing films to promote it, filmmaking to promote it, and then like we started working with Vans and Element and Billabong and those guys, and the demand became higher for the video, and that's really what I was originally doing anyway. So I just kind of regrouped and started IRONCLAD. IRONCLAD is cool because it represents our area of Virginia Beach without saying that we're local. But the first battle of the Ironclads was here, the Monitor and the Merrimack. It was the North versus South, and it happened right here in our waters. But after that battle of the Ironclads, all other militaries became obsolete. So they basically, even though it was against ourselves, we were the first ones to do the Ironclad ship. So it's kind of a cool meaning. But since then, I mean, our background was action sports. We started in that, then it became outdoor. Dudes over here work, NSWs right here. So we started working with those guys. That turned into working with the brands that support those guys. Mechanics Wear is one of those brands that support those guys. So then we get linked up with guys like you, and all these brands just chain linked one to another to another. So we started doing all these agency films, and then we started meeting so many cool people, and we knew that we wanted to do original content, films and series and podcasts. So that's when we started reaching out to the people that we made friends with through all our years doing agency work. And that's where we are today. So that's a very short version of how we got to where we are.
That's pretty good. I mean, you hear so many different times of either on podcasts or books or interviews with people that are where they're at now. And it's always funny to see, for the most part, they really didn't know exactly where they were going to be at. It was just perseverance and being like on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. Before you know it, you're like, oh shit, I didn't even, at 17 years old, I didn't think I was going to be a media company or, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
You don't hear a lot either of guys that just got after it from the get-go. Usually it's like, I worked here and they taught me this, and then I worked here and they taught me this, and then I started moonlighting, and then I was burning at both ends, and then I finally kind of branched off on my own to dive into that from a young kid and just get after it. It's pretty impressive.
yeah, from a video camera, probably videotaping some
That was-
bunch of shit that you shouldn't have been videotaping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and thank
would you
God
be
there wasn't-
arrested? Would you
Dude,
be
dude,
arrested
thank
if there were
God-
cell phone and social media now?
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Thank God there wasn't social media then. Thank God there wasn't. Dude, they need to teach kids about like your digital footprint or something, in school, because that stuff is forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of shit we used to do that if we had cell phone cameras back then and if there was social media, we 100% would not be here now.
Oh yeah, you'd be locked. There'd be arson charges, all sorts of crazy stuff.
It was funny when you had the disposable cameras, and you'd go buy those disposable cameras and take pictures of stuff just because you knew that they had to develop them, and then send other people in to go, pick
Oh,
up
yeah.
the photos and stuff. But that's one and done. I mean, those things are gone. I mean, doing it on a phone
Yeah,
and
I could-
texting them and stuff
I
like
could go on for a whole episode about those cameras. Dude, but that was in the era too, where like I think at one point we made like helmet cams. That remember like motocross?
Yeah.
We were duct taping like mom's fucking camcorder to our motocross helmet because that's all.
Yeah,
Dude,
man.
that fucking camera was like
Yeah.
Right.
it was big, but yeah, we didn't have access to cool little GoPros and stuff, and nor did you have
Yeah, and-
anywhere to share those videos.
Yeah, there was nothing. I still have shoe boxes full of tapes and stuff like that I'll take to the grave with me. But the
You got any red or
The-
green ones in there? Like the red or green?
yeah, I mean, we got some stuff. So the thing is with these tapes, and even technology now, these kids they have these phones that film better than we had, and even they film just as good as what we have now that we were spending 80 grand on a camera for, and now these phones are shooting in 5 and 6 grand, 5 and 6K. These kids are coming up good. They're coming up really good. There's a lot of talent pool out there, but they don't have that go get 'em spirit sometimes. And I'm sure you guys deal with that. We've talked about it a little bit behind the scenes, but when you find good teammates, there's nothing like it. And the talent pool kind of narrows itself a little bit when it comes to that elite level.
Dude, tell us a little more about that because that's something that jumped out to me immediately when we did the road tour series and we got to spend some time with your crew. Yeah, that was a little nerve wracking for us. So we're going to be on the road for a week. What are these guys going to be like? Is this going to be awkward? Is it going to be a pain in the ass? But dude, that's the most impressive thing that I've seen with Ironclad is the crew that you've got. I mean, everybody is just on it. Really interesting dudes, really passionate dudes, and I mean, well spoken. Just you got a killer fucking crew, man. How do you put something like that together?
We were fortunate with with the people that we were working with, that they were guys like you or guys like athletes or anybody that's on these elite levels, because ultimately they were who the brand sponsored. So I knew early that like whoever we're working with, if I'm going to direct them, which at the time I was directing like 120 pieces a year, commercials a year. It was crazy. And if I'm going to direct these guys, I better be dialed in if I'm going to get respect. So if I'm dialed in, my team better be dialed in. And then we were also working with NSW, Naval Special Warfare, out here in Virginia Beach a lot. And just guys from that community, not specifically Warcom, but and those guys were so dialed in, and we started seeing they have these small elite trained teams that can get in anywhere in the world with world-class gear and get the job done. And also at the same time, Brain Farm was doing this stuff with Red Bull, and they were pushing the limits with technology. So we were lucky to learn from a lot of these people almost through osmosis. And we had this forging with this team. And we really pushed people hard, and that was before HR or any of those other things. So we could really mold these young guys, and it was the perfect storm, I think. And now because we have those guys, those core teammates, they can help bring up these younger guys, and it's very hard. And it's a small team. We're still right at 20. So at 20 people, we can kind of keep that. I don't know how long you can keep that, as
Do
you
you have
get the
those
team bigger.
new guys coming on that the old guys are like, you have no idea what it was like in the old days. We had to do
Yes.
this.
Yes, absolutely. And then, the good news is now we can contract like special teams for commercials and things like that, and we can still keep our core tight. So a lot of our guys have been here forever, but yeah, absolutely. When the young guys come on, they don't realize the type of hours and the type of projects and not staying in the nice place or flying well. That kind of thing is they get it good now.
I remember
Didn't
when
have
we
to come up on the grind.
when we first started recording, those first few we were running, it was 9:30, 10 o'clock at night our time, and you've got, producers on the whole time listening to us just, bullshit and be dumb and be stupid and we were we're not very good now, but we were really, really poor when we started. And I was always texting you, texting Matt, texting Jesse, like, dude, tell this guy I'm sorry. And y'all were always like, that's the gig. That's part of it. Like it's what we got to do. I'm thinking this guy's like, he fucking hates us. It's 11 o'clock where he's at.
His patience level's phenomenal. I mean, he put up
Yeah.
with a lot.
Yeah.
Listened to a lot.
It's tough, dude, and then even like the growing pains of any of this stuff is hard in general. Even like Josh, I've had you text me a couple times at the beginning. I'm like, oh shit, what now? But it's just the way it goes because we don't want to let each other down, and that's
Right.
how it is with the person on a team, right? Like when we get on a team together, now that Ironclad and the Roadster Shop is in a team, we don't want to let each other down. It's the same way with these guys that come on, and I'm sure you have the same thing as guys come on. They take it very personally, and ideally, they're mature enough where that it fuels them rather than breaks them down. Sometimes it breaks them down with artists and people with high skill sets, but a lot of times it just fuels them, and we've been fortunate to find those ones where it just fuels them.
Yeah, that mentality of you don't have to be the hook at one end or the anchor at the other end. Just don't be that weakest link. All you got to do is just don't be the weakest link. And then with that mentality, usually can stick together a pretty good team.
You build the chain, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah, I
chain.
gotcha.
Build a
Yeah.
I
chain.
saw it in
I
my
see where-
head
yeah.
as you described it.
where-
I could
yeah, I'm very
just see
visual.
that beautiful chain.
See
Yeah.
that.
I feel like you're very similar to a lot of guys in our industry. How do you, any advice on how to scale and keep growing the company without losing sight of the detail and, the creative process?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. I think what you hear most people say is hire smart people and bring the right people on. I think that's huge for me. Just being able to lay my head down. I know how many nights have you guys laid your head down at night, like thinking about like if you lost a core team member or anything like that. It's rough. So it's like making sure that you're hiring the right people and taking care of them. That's number one. I think on my end is like focusing on making sure that if we're developing our team, they're going to continue to develop and take things to another level. And then if I also live by the conviction that I preach to these guys and girls, then I feel like I'm going to get that back from them. So it's like holding myself accountable, holding the team accountable, but still investing in them and investing in myself. That's been the biggest thing for us. And then just treating the customers like we would want to be treated, and what we want is the best. So they trust us, and we keep pushing, right? And like we're never going to be too much of an artist to collaborate with, which is hard sometimes. We understand that people are paying us to do something, but we're also going to push as far as we possibly can to make it the best thing possible. So finding that balance, because once again, when just like us partnering on this, if we're partnering with Garmin on a project, we both have to win, or we both have to feel it a little bit. So it's just always aligning with your team and pushing the limits. That's kind of been for us. I'm sure you guys deal with it even more because you have people that are so passionate about what they're getting from you. I mean, when passion and business and team and all these logistics, it probably gets even harder.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same. We don't have to deal with ROIs though, like you do. So
Yeah.
you don't have,
Yeah.
we have one deliverable. It's a done car. But yeah, there's always obstacles to jump through on people's different visions and
Yeah.
what he wants to do on the car versus what Josh wants to do versus what the customer wants. And
Because with
You
that,
gotta
I mean,
bend.
ultimately, it doesn't fucking matter what Josh wants. So that works. I mean, it works pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Who
Yeah.
wins at the end? Who wins at the end if they're pushing for something?
It depends on what the
Well,
thing is.
well, no, it depends on what your definition of win is, because does what needs to happen and the customer's happy, then that's a win, right? I mean,
No, it
it's
always
not about who's right or wrong. It's about
all jokes aside, that process works out actually surprisingly well in our shop. We've got Chris kind of steering the ship on the design side, so we go into it with a pretty good vision of what we're chasing, and most of the guys I think respect that process. And as creative as they are, I mean, they get to apply their creativity to the majority of the build, but you're following.
Sometimes you got to steer that a
Yeah,
little
you're
bit and
following
change direction.
somewhat of a blueprint, but everybody knows everybody's like strengths. Like Josh, for example, we're building an OBS pickup truck, an 88 Chevy truck. It's not something that I have a tremendous amount of experience with, like the styling on them. So there's things that I go into, and sometimes that works out well, going into it with, like blind, but Josh has the tribal knowledge on it. So how many times did I come to you? I mean, you're not even really involved in that particular project because you got a million other things going on, but I'll call him over and say, dude, what do we do with this? What do you think of this? Do we run a bumper? Do we run a roll pan?
yeah. I mean, it's been a bunch.
Yeah.
We go back and forth, and I know I preach this all the time. It's not about whose idea or who came up with this. It's all about the process, because generally sometimes the out of the biggest arguments or the biggest disagreements or the biggest butting of heads comes the greatest product. And it's having the honest conversations of, hey, what do you think color about this? I was thinking of doing this color. That's fucking stupid. I think that would be dumb. What about this color? And then back and forth, and it's like, you know what? Actually, what if we did this? And then it's generally something like right in the middle, or something that we never even thought would work, but out of the conversation, the three of us or the guys on the shop or with Chris or the customer, it's the process.
I think that process always generates the best finished product. Just the dialogue.
Yeah.
And when it's done right.
I mean, this as well as anybody. We've been on I don't know how many calls or meetings or whatever. There's no point in sugarcoating anything. Just rip the Band-Aid off and be like, nope, that sucks, or that's really good. And then if somebody says it's really good and they like it, then they really like it. And if they say they don't like it, then there's no sense in trying to So
brutal honesty. You're saying
brutal honesty gets to the point the quickest, which gets the best result.
Not all creatives have the stomach for brutal honesty. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
We've tiptoed into it.
Yeah. I like it too. It's easier. But yeah, I felt like, man, I needed to someone said you need better emotional intelligence. And I was like, what? And they're like, it's called EI. And I was like, what is that? I didn't even know what it was. But when you're hiring these young artists, you gotta learn it. But it's, I don't know.
That means knowing how to sugarcoat something, I guess, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's that or just a way to recognize. I don't know, dude. No, I'm still figuring it out.
Like for us, that would be called just like, don't be a fucking asshole, right?
Right. Yeah. There you go.
We approach things.
Yeah.
Very differently. We don't have a lot of ever since Chris Morgan left. We don't have a lot of abbreviations.
EI though, I'm going to use that one.
Shut up.
You've got very low emotional intelligence.
It's very insulting.
That's honestly hurtful.
So what's the vision behind the Ironclad content? Once you got to that transition period, you're like, you know what? We've always been wanting to do originals. We've got the vehicle to do it now. We've got some opportunities. Was there a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year? Was it just about the quality of the product and doing what you wanted? What was your vision at that point?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything, right? Like we kind of naturally found our niche with the brands that we wanted to work with, and the style of filmmaking that we wanted, and therefore the folks that came along with that, like you guys. So we knew that it was high performers, the most elite in each class, right? And that we wanted to we built a content ratio. So if we have a green light process, so when our team is bringing stuff to us, It has to check 2 of the 3 boxes. It has to educate, empower, and entertain. 2 of those 3 things. And with those things, we figured like if we're going to be putting out content, we want it to be the best in the world, and we want to be working with the best in the world. And obviously, we want to entertain, but we want to do 2 of the other things. And that doesn't mean like it has to be like some motivational content. If it's empowering, even if it's empowering our team to grow or the teams that we're working with to take it to another level. But we kind of narrowed it down to that. So we work with elite performers. And it has to do 2 of those 3 things. I mean, ultimately, we want to make world-class films, but building sustainable franchises that we can build into those. And that's even like we talked about with you guys, like, ideally we're doing multiple series together on some major streaming networks and doing some cool builds and creative stuff. And maybe we even, tie in your product on some fictional stuff from some of our friends that we've been talking about. So, ideally we're doing a lot of those things, but we build them from sustainable franchises where we can all not only achieve our ROI goals for marketing needs, but also build an audience and learn what that audience likes and what we enjoy doing and where we can build some viable products that goes to the next level. So it's kind of been one of those things where we want to navigate our own destiny, and we want to do it with people we enjoy working with. And we feel like we've created some good relationships on the brand side, and we just want to take it to another level. So it's even like when we started, it wasn't necessarily 1 year, 2 year, 3 year goal. We obviously have those for financials, and we know what we have to do to that. But it's more to sprint to taking over. It's really that.
And that's
Domination.
Yeah, it's just like our approach.
Yep.
We've always said that. Phil and I talk quite a bit about that. You hear so many people with like, this is my Q3 projections, and Q4 we're going to do this, and in spring of 2024 this is what we're going to be doing. Dude, if you're in this industry, or I'm assuming your industry is the same way.
Domination's domination.
If you're look at like, what are you going to do tomorrow to kick shit's ass? You
Yep.
got to be on the fucking throttle, man, all the time.
You
Always
have to,
pushing.
dude. Yeah, you have to, and you have to evolve with. It's just like nobody else in your industry is doing what you're doing right now. Just sitting here doing this. Look at that studio. Look at what you're doing. Like, you have to hit from all fronts, and always, we say being the voice of the industry, right? Like my passion's filmmaking. I didn't think podcast was a way to get there, but it is. I mean, it's everything's about build. Like, look at any of the major films or franchises. They have breakout ancillary content. It's just this sustainable force. But yeah, you have to go full throttle on all accounts, and you have to evolve and be multifaceted. I call it like serrations on a blade. It's like once you're the sharpest blade, you're the sharpest blade. But the more serrations you can put on, you're going to cut through more stuff.
That's a good way of putting it.
That was better than the chain
Dude,
analogy.
that's gonna be
It whipped your ass.
I know.
the next
Hey,
time.
and Blade HQ supplies good blades.
Absolutely.
Yes,
There's a
serrated
tieback.
blades, straight blades, Tonto blades, you name it.
They've got a
Blade HQ's
blade.
got the blade for you.
Yeah.
But that is, dude, that's a great.
Yeah.
In the future, I'm using that as a quote, and I'm gonna claim that as my own. When people ask,
Yeah, hey, go for it, man.
yeah, as
You
you
got to
go
give
through,
credit.
He's just gonna say
Yeah.
Jeremy said it.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it.
Good.
So
Yeah, like, I'm always impressed. You guys seem to just constantly like us be on the gas and coming up with ideas on top of ideas and like never settling. I think that's been one of our big things. Nothing's ever good enough. And a lot of the other shops we talked to, we had Alan Johnson on and Troy from Hollywood Hot Rods. They're never happy with what they've done. It's always improve on that for the next one. Are you ever happy with something you finish, or are you always trying to make the next one better?
Yeah, I think it's like I'm content with the trajectory of where it's going, but I'm not necessarily content with like where we are with it, if that makes sense. Like I don't want my team to feel like nothing's like they're not gonna, no matter what, they're not going to live up to what we're looking for, because I've realized I can burn people out that way. But to a large degree, yes, I always want it to go further, bigger, better. How can we push the limits here, and really instill that in them, so they're even pushing me, and that's where we're at now, where these guys scare. I want them to scare me with what they bring, right? And then on the creative side, and then even on our financial side, I want my CFO and my creative battling it out to go to the next level, and then presenting to me. And so yeah, to a large degree, we don't want to check a box, and that's where I was at that point when I was doing 120, 150 commercials, directing 150 by myself. It's like, dude, I'm just checking a box at this point.
What
And
kind of stuff were you
that's when
doing back then? I mean, that
Dude.
like TV commercials, YouTube stuff. What kind of?
Yeah, it was, dude. Look, so I took a note from the Brain Farm. Brain Farm was this digital cinema house in Wyoming. They were working with Red Bull and all the action sports guys, and so on the outside looking in the early days, you would say, "Oh, dude, they worked with whatever 3-4 brands that I would put on the front." But behind the scenes, we were being funded by. We were doing hospital chain commercials, like anything, dude. And it was like one hospital would bring us 30 spots, and web stuff, little online things, and we would just churn and burn on those. But we would out front and center would put the coolest stuff. No one ever knew. We didn't advertise those things, and we strategically phased out of those. But I was lucky enough that we had, my buddy I grew up with, who's now our CFO, was really dynamic in like financial strategy as well. And I've always been the brand guy. So I'm like, brand first, make it look awesome. And then everything we did was like to fund the next level. So if I'm doing 30 hospital commercials, I'm going to buy the most elite camera in the business with that money. I'm going to bring up our young guys to think fast on their feet, train, to get scalability processes. Like everything we did that was outside of the end vision it better be tied to a purpose, right? So if we're going to do that, we're going to take that dough and we're going to put this into this, and or that time into this. But I will say it was so much that I think my team was really able to apply that, but I got to a point as a creative where I was like, dude, I don't even know what the hell is which anymore, and that's when I knew I needed to bring on bigger, better creatives.
What's the along with Oil and Whiskey, Ironclad does other shows with hosts Jack Carr, Ashley Horner, Brian Kane, and a lot of others. What's the through line or the mainstay in those podcasts? It can't be checking 2 of those boxes, because I know we slipped under the radar there.
I'm wondering which box we checked.
Well, it's the best in class folks too, right? And ultimately they're people we believe in and we are friends with right now. But like, it's people who are best in class. So we want to work with the most elite, and that's what everybody in our network it does. And we also believe that it's something that'll go beyond one show. We think it's something that we can build on and build together. And ideally build into many series and product lines and collaborations and cross promotions and building huge audiences with it. So it's a lot of those little things, but if you're working hard, you want to be with your friends and you want to be with people that you align with. So that's living the dream to us. So that's really, we're kind of selfish with how we pick and who we pick, to be honest with you.
You've got you got another new podcast launching this month, correct?
We do. We have a couple. They're all kind of. Am I supposed to plug one?
No, I don't know. I'm giving you the opportunity if you want to.
Is that a layup?
This is a wiffle ball.
Did Jesse put a note in there for you? Because
no, he didn't. But I just knew that you are.
Well, we did just launch the Terminal List podcast, which is really cool. It's been cool to see, and I'm still. We're gonna get Jack on here with you guys here soon. I know that you guys are gonna.
I'm looking forward to that.
Stuff. Josh is not going to be able to talk. As good of a job as Josh
Mr. Jack,
is, as much
Mr.
as
Jack.
He's going to clam up, dude, and be so starstruck.
I might have to be sedated.
Because I feel like long before we ever met you guys, it's all. I'm sick of fucking hearing about it, dude. I'm glad that the TV show came out because now I can watch it and it's phenomenal. But every day, I get like you're a fanboy.
I am. Badass is badass.
Yeah, fanboy.
We'll get you linked up. I'm trying to get you guys in the next book. That's what I'm trying to do.
We're gonna get that truck out there here in a few weeks or whatever it works out.
There'll be a book on tape for that, right?
Yeah, you can listen to it. Yeah, you
I
can
listen. I'm a listener too. I listen
Yeah.
to the books. I'm not a good reader.
Well, transition over into a little bit of the automotive stuff. So you're a Ford truck guy. I know you sent us some pictures of a recent purchase. What are you driving now?
So I drive. I switch between the two. So I've got an '88 Bronco Eddie Bauer, and then I've got a '97 Ford F-250 7.3
That thing's a
short bed.
beast.
So sick.
Is the perfect time to get a diesel truck too, huh?
Oh,
But,
Great timing, man.
Yeah, but I love it. The only, there's the practicality of it. You got to turn it off when you're going through a drive-through. People
that
don't
thing's
really
got
hear
the
you that well.
that's got the clackety clack for sure.
Yeah. But dude, I love it. I drive it. I mean, I would choose that. My wife drives a Suburban, and I would choose if we're going on a family trip or something. We're loading the 7.3 up.
And you got
The Bronco, not so much.
the 7.3. You got a little lift kit, and that's tuned up a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah. It's tuned up a bit, and I will say that it could probably be tuned a little bit more. I mean, it's in perfect shape. There's one owner, no rust. I mean, it's sweet. Everywhere I go, someone tries to buy it from me.
Dude, they're so rad. One just popped up on Bring a Trailer, and it just sold yesterday. I was following it because I wanted it so bad. It was a short box too. It's hard to
Yeah.
find. Yours is a short box, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, because the short box
Yeah.
is tough to find, but same scenario is absolutely mint. Ended up selling for 36 grand.
Wow.
That's a good buy.
It actually, I talked myself out of it. I use like Phil's always like the voice of reason that sits on my shoulder, and I'm thinking like, you don't need this. You don't need this. You do not
What happened with the last
need
purchase?
this. Well, sometimes like there's the angel and the devil. You
There's
know,
sometimes
I
the
fight back
gasser.
and forth. It's
Yes.
still pretty cool.
Drove it twice and want to sell it because you got bored with
I
it.
had to get it out of my system. I like looking at it still.
They have a cult following, those 7.3s.
Yeah, they're cool.
How
do they-
I'm very happy with the purchase. I have a problem. I think I've started with those trucks.
How's it
I
drive?
bought another one too.
Did you?
Yeah, I bought another one.
Short box, single cab, right?
You're amongst
Long-
friends. You
no-
could talk.
It's a crew cab. It's a crew cab with a long bed. And I bought, a winch. I got these lights for the top. So we have this property on the eastern shore of Virginia, and I wanted it to make it look like an old school game warden truck. The dark green two-tone.
Yep.
I got the yellow lights for the top, a
want
winch
that.
on the front, all those things. But so I took it. My father-in-law was like, "Dude, I got a guy. He's gonna get it done for you," because this one was a farm truck. I
Everybody's
bought.
got
This
a
is
guy.
not. This is not the one I drive on a daily basis. This is literally I got it from a farmer, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up with the truck?" He's like, "Oh, I'll go check on it today." He's like, "Oh, he's in jail. It's in pieces in his yard." So that's where my other one is. He's in jail for some reason.
Are you from Virginia Beach or West Virginia? Where you guys where are you guys located?
Hey, you go 5 miles down the road from here, and you think you're in West Virginia.
You can go over to Noah's office and think you're in West Virginia.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? You said something, Jeremy. You said something to Noah about his mustache or something, and we were laughing, and you're like, "Dude, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said." You thought you hurt his feelings, but that makes Noah's chest go out. He's proud to look that way.
Dude, it's a beautiful mustache. I couldn't picture him without one.
No.
Dude,
No,
he looks,
it's better. He's
Stellar
he's far-
mullet.
He looks sharp. Like
He
Yeah.
does.
Looks good.
He looks good with it.
So you said your dad was in the car business. He had the car lot. What even being a little skater punk through those days, I mean, what did you learn about the car business? That's, I'm sure there has to be some stories of you screwing around with some type of cars back then.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I would, he drove a different car home every night. So if we wanted a special car for something, even if we were going on a vacation to the Outer Banks, he'd buy a Jeep at the auction just so we could take it on the beach. So I was spoiled growing up with cars. And as a kid, I would sit in the driveway and just tinker with them, turn on the radio, sit and pretend like I'm driving on any of the cars. But Eddie Bauer's were always my favorite. Yeah, that was my first car, Eddie Bauer, 1994 Eddie Bauer Explorer.
Oh,
And that's why I bought the.
in the house.
What was that?
We had
You had
an
one?
Eddie Bauer in the household.
Yep.
It's pretty
Nice.
sweet, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was my mom's car.
Yeah, my dad brought it. He was in the body shop business, and he brings it home, and he put a fucking like a giant pink unicorn on the,
The whole
tailgate. Yeah,
really?
that was like the one and only time I think he bought my mom the car she wanted. Usually it was like a 2500 HD Suburban because he knew he could pull a trailer with it, but it was also like an SUV.
I got you.
But,
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Dude, yeah. So yeah, I would just dream about them, drive them, and then the first 2 years of Ironclad to like subsidize income, I bought all his inventory. So I would go to all the Mannheim auctions and just buy all the inventory. So I was on the road like 3 days a week, and then I'd be in the office 2 days a week. Just so I had employees before I was even full time, and I was just paying the employees with all the money we had to keep building and building, and then I would just go on the road and hit these auctions. So I mean, cars have always been a big part of our lives, and I'm not one to be super knowledgeable on the mechanics, but I have a passion for them. Yeah, specifically because he was in Elizabeth City. It's like just south of here. It's in North Carolina. Lot of trucks. I mean, it was truck town. So that's 90s trucks are like my favorite. Late 80s, early 90s. That's what I grew up on.
What's your favorite one you ever owned?
Dude, I've been looking for a 94 Eddie Bauer Explorer to be honest with you, but my favorite truck I've ever owned is this F-250. I mean, I'm in love with it. I'm gonna buy a couple more. I do have a problem with them. Like I said, that one I'm gonna build that one for the land. We call it Fort Quimby. It's in Quimby, Virginia. I'll build like a Fort Quimby Wildlife Patrol style truck, and then I think I'll get them. And I want to do them as gifts, like. I think those will be the gifts that I start giving to commemorate cool things for people. That's kind of the go-to. Like when we get a show on a major streaming, I'm going to send you guys one. I want to send one for all like that. They're just unique, and I don't know. There's something about them. I'm in love with them.
How do they? That was so. What actually talked me out of buying it was the split beam front end, because I'm looking at it, I'm like I could daily that thing, but then I'm looking at the split beam front end. How does that thing go down the road? Do you like driving it? Like it's actually enjoyable to, other than looking, or you
just
like
vision what you look
right,
like,
other than looking like
everything.
a complete fucking badass. I mean, how does it drive?
This is literally what happened. I was going to the post office the other day, and I was driving, and this dude, who, by the way, have you seen the Pit Viper commercials? The guys in the Pit Viper commercials?
Oh yeah,
the big ass glasses.
Yep.
He literally looks like a guy that I could just see like this screen zooming into him. He literally goes like this and drops his glasses. He has a giant mustache and just looks at me. I made his day. So in my head, I look like that in slow motion driving down the road. Gotcha. Cut to reality, I look like Ace Ventura driving down the road, bending around.
Chasing it down the street.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
it's the cost of being cool.
It's the cost of being cool. Don't drink a hot coffee unless your arm's a shock absorber. No, I mean, on the interstate, you're fine. It's just some of these inland roads that have potholes and stuff. You're gonna feel the potholes. Like the kids in the back are like, jump screaming when they're back there. But dude, I don't know. The AC blows ice cold. I mean, it's in perfect shape. It's got Dynamat all underneath everything. I mean, it's well insulated. It's quiet enough. But I will say, you get knocked around a bit.
You're gonna get some pictures so we could put that up on the screen. Show everybody.
Yeah, I will, man. I look like Chuck Norris in my head. I feel like you guys.
You've got a little young Chuck look to you. You got a little.
Dude, I'd be thriving in the like they said. If Noah's goal was to look like the redneck, I would love to look like early '90s Chuck. That would be great.
Dude, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. I feel like that's every man's dream, whether they openly admit it or not.
You should buy one though, Jeremy.
I probably will. I feel like it's a phenomenal daily.
I
only drive. I've got like a 10-mile commute.
I spend a lot of time.
I live a mile and a half from work. I don't, so it's I'm telling you to do it, but it's like I don't get banged up.
You probably 4 or 5 gallons of fuel a day then going to and from work.
Yeah, so it's got 2 gas tanks on it. And then I
Saddle
got a
things?
toolbox. I got a toolbox that I installed in the back with a pump on it. It closes in so you won't see the pump. It's hidden. So it just looks like a toolbox. But I can fill up my four-wheelers or my boats or anything like that. But if it hits the fan, I could put 2 tanks with diesel, that whole thing with diesel. I'm across the country in that sucker.
Zombie apocalypse,
maybe.
baby. You gotta be
Hell
ready.
yeah.
Gotta be prepared. What's some of the best business advice that you've ever received?
I don't know. I think it's kind of what got you here won't get you there kind of thing. I think be prepared for the storm. We were lucky. We brought up Ironclad in 2010, so it was right at the lowest economy. So we always knew we were always conservative with cash, but willing to deploy for the right things. That allowed us to get to a certain level, but then that conservative spirit can also get in your way a little sometimes when you're ready to go. And I think sometimes it took us a little bit longer to punch the gas because of that, but we outsurvived everybody. You know, in our world, not many people make it. I'm sure, and same with yours. But shit, it's every business. Not many people make it. But I feel like the people that they say the average business lasts like 2 years or something like that. I think they just quit. Quite frankly, I think it just gets hard.
Yeah, I could
But
totally see that.
but yeah, I think being, cash is king, and being ready for that has been big for us. But then it kind of, as we started taking off, I think I could have been more aggressive too at times. So, you know, my dad raised me because he had the finance company. He saw so many people that were over leveraged and couldn't even get a $6,000 car. So he ingrained that into me, keeping clean credit and being ready. So I think that was the core of what we were doing, and then just taking care of your team has been the next thing. It's just constantly taking care of your team and focusing on them, and they'll take care of you if you're doing that.
But any advice you can go back 10, 15 years and tell yourself from what you've learned?
Start exercising discipline. Otherwise, you got to learn it the hard way. And the faster you can learn that, the better. I feel like even something as simple as like putting yourself on a schedule. I mean, it takes you a while to learn some of these things that seem pretty basic, but I find that the people that I know that are making the most impact, oftentimes are most in control of themselves, and are able to then push themselves even further.
That's good advice.
What would you guys say?
Man, I don't know. To be like totally honest with you, I could kind of see me telling myself something that's very in line with that, because I run a little wild and loose, fast. I try to just knock shit out. I'm always rolling, always on the fucking gas. But if I could go back, I'd probably say something very much like that, to get yourself organized. It's hard to visualize where you're going to be and plan for it. You know what I mean? Like, you never know that you're going to have 200 chassis in your library. So plan for it. Like, visualize it being big and prepare for it at that time, because it's difficult to go back and catch up. I think that's what I would tell myself.
I'd tell myself keep the blinders on. Always, so you're always focused on the goal. Everything else doesn't matter. There's going to be a million things going by on the left, right, behind. Keep your blinders on. Eye on the prize. What about you, Phil?
I'm thinking. Yeah, I guess probably similar to what you said. Set a goal and go after it, and don't get distracted by every shiny, flashy object that, ooh, we could go this way, ooh, we could go this way, oh, we could go this way. I think that would have helped us out a lot earlier on. Find your lane and stay with it.
Nothing about making noises behind
Oh,
animals.
Absolutely.
I didn't know if that'd be some advice.
I didn't know if we were going back that far. If we're going back that far, yeah, 100%. Like in life.
You get kicked in the head?
Close.
Yeah, just a little bit south of the head, right there in the fucking chest. Knocks the wind out of you. You know, when you take a horse's hoof to the chest. This is Josh's favorite story.
It's my favorite story of all time.
You want me to share it?
I would love you to share it right now. I think now's the time. Jeremy's never heard this
Dude,
story.
this is great because I can slam myself and
Yeah.
Phil
Yeah.
all in one.
Yeah.
So
I knew this was
I'm
coming.
gonna spin this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna spin
you're
this.
never going to
fucker.
take all
Yeah.
the egg on the face. That's
All
for
right.
sure.
So, if anybody's ever seen an English horse rider, do they call them horse rider? What do they call it? They're not
I believe
jockeys,
so.
Horse riders?
Yeah.
That was Phil. But, and I will give Phil a compliment. Phil's always done things at a very high level and like very good at them. So Phil was showing horses, when we were kids. So I got dragged along to all that. And I was just a fucking shithead, right? So there I am.
Can confirm.
Yeah,
Can confirm.
So I'm sitting there, if I'm either cruising around on a dirt bike or
What
screwing
age?
around doing
What
something.
age?
I think it was 8
This
or
was
9.
young, yeah.
8 or 9. So there Phil is. He's like, top of his class, grand champion. And he's got everybody around him. He's sitting on the horse and they're probably getting ready to go out there and win some national fucking championship. And I decide that the best thing to do is to walk behind that horse and put my hands over my mouth and make the loudest farting noise that I can make. Because that sounds like a good, like
The horse is farting. Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what a horse does when you do that? It kicks the fucking shit out of you. Right? So you've seen me now. I'm not exactly like the largest guy. So imagine me at 8 or 9 years old. I'm like a fucking tiny little. This
Like a
horse
ragdoll
Went
you.
flying into the
fucking
wall.
about killed me, dude. I don't even. Next, I wake up. There's people like holding me. Surprisingly, I was walked it off. That was the era of walking it off, though.
Yeah, there may have been some long-term lasting effects.
Yeah.
What was the name of the horse?
I think it was Copper Penny. Wasn't it? Phil would know. Was it?
I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah. Well,
So that-
whatever it was. That's fucking
That's my favorite story of all
And you
time.
finally were able to work that in.
I imagine little shithead Jeremy making fart noises behind that horse.
Dude,
So yeah,
I
advice: don't do that.
I should get I've always been wondering what to get for a tattoo.
Hooves.
Yeah.
Two
Hooves. Yeah. It was only one. It just sat.
Oh, just
there.
one?
Yeah. It was like sat there super calm and just kicked the crap
If you
out of me
could
with
get
the
a
one
hoof-
with the one
Get a
leg.
hoof tattoo right here.
Oh, it was dead center.
Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
where we were at before that. But that was
Sorry.
a
Drastically
good
derailed.
story.
I've got one. I really love your company slogan, the whole
It's
"Iron
very
sharpens
cool.
iron." Give me your take on it, because I'm really interested to hear the deep dive into it.
Yeah, I mean it's a proverb in the Bible, but the full verse is like iron sharpens iron just as one man sharpens another, and for us it's like we want to be that on multiple levels. Like for me to my team to me, so each other, it's very important that we push each other, that we hold each other accountable, that we set a tone for each other, that it's constantly sharpening our skill set, our deliverable set, everything we're bringing to the table, and then extends beyond that to the partners outside of that. We want this podcast to be the best podcast in the world. We want everything that we do with you guys to add value, to be an asset to you, just like you guys are an asset to us. And then ultimately to the crowd that is absorbing the content, right? We want to be an asset to them. And sharpen people. So, it's really about, it's one, like, it's a motivational thing for myself to hear, like, it's my duty to be sharp, to stay sharp, and also to be that asset to other people. And then it's the other people's understanding, like, if you're in this group, you're not, to Josh's point, the weak link, right? You're the sharp one and you're sharpening others. So, yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to for us, and it's perfect with the name IRONCLAD, right? So that's how we do it, and we've been inscribed it on all of our stuff, but it's something different.
It's very interesting that you talk about it on. It's you against yourself. It's you and your team against yourself. It's your competition and you. It's your partners and you. And it's also the consumer or the customer or the people consuming your media. It's me and Chris have actually been talking about this a while. You spoke about how kids these days, besides the work ethic, but the tools that they've got at their hand. I mean, a new iPhone, how it can, the quality it can do, how good they can be, but also they have to be that good with the last 15 years of all of us consuming media the way we've been consuming it. And it's, I mean, we're a very fickle people. That what have you done for me lately? It's the very next thing better be better than the last thing. So that's interesting to look at it from that standpoint, is that your customer or your consumer is sharpening you as well, because they're constantly looking for something better. No matter how good it is, it could be the best thing out there, but you're like, yeah, I've already seen that. Give me something more. I mean, I find myself doing that too with new shows that are coming out, or a new book to read or something like that. It's you you're you're you've consumed so much craziness that it's like an addict. You got to get your next fix, and it better be a little bit crazier, a little bit bigger explosion, filmed in a little bit different way, because of the way technology's at. So it's a cool way of looking at that. Your customer has already became numb to the last thing that you've done.
Yeah.
So they're expecting something greater.
Well, I think that you could apply that very much to car builds,
Mhm.
because it's easy to it's easy to look at something and chalk it up to being like a customer complaint, like, oh, it's an old car, dude. But as you have customers that become more and more educated and great repeat customers, they bring stuff to the table that you would ordinarily dismiss. But I think it sharpens you as you identify those complaints or critiques, and you just keep bettering yourself and bettering yourself. You get just stronger and stronger over time.
We're a little slower here on oil and whiskey, so we have to talk those things out so we can see them. I hope you understand
Yeah,
that.
it takes a while.
Yeah.
Dude, but yeah, no, I get it. We do, but I try to inscribe. I try to do subliminal messaging in anything that we do, even like all our shirts and stuff. They got Revolutionary War quote. Like people
Dude.
don't know. They think, oh, that's cool, and it is cool. Even the ironclad thing, it's cool. But there's also meaning. I mean, it's there's a lot of subliminal messaging in
All right,
all. In
I
all
got
of
to
our
interrupt
stuff.
you, and you got to hit me with the subliminal messaging behind the one, because I dig the shit out of the shirt. The one it says something about, if there's to be war, let it be in my time, so that
Yeah.
and I'm just shooting from the hip, so it's shocking that I remember even that much
Yeah.
of it. But that's a fucking badass shirt. What's the
Yeah, it's like if there must be war, let it be in my day, so that my child may have peace. And it's basically saying, it's a Revolutionary War quote, but it's like, hey, if it's gonna go down, I want to be the guy. Send me, and that's we want to push ourselves in the business we're in to do the most challenging, and to accomplish the most impactful things. But it also, like, it, even as I wear that, it's like it applies to anyone, not beyond the business. Yeah, I think it's like I want my kid to see me putting in the work. I want my kid to see me still coming home and working out, or still coming home and investing in them, or doing those types of things. And it's like I want to be all. One of our other ones is always ready. It's like we want to be ready to go. I want to be ready to go. And we did that always, like, we were kind of known in that world. Like, if Under Armour needed us, they're going to call us, and we're ready to go the next day to some shithole like Death Valley or something like that. It's not a shithole. It's just really tough environment. Or they'd send us to, altitude in Denver, and it could be a next day thing. So that one I love, but it also has I think it's something we're missing now. I like that it's a Revolutionary War quote.
You hit the
And
nail on the head. I mean, a strong male role model nowadays, like you just said, you want your kids to see that. You want your kids to see you putting in the work, doing what you need to do. It's. I don't want to get too much on a political rant, but I know you know exactly what we're talking about. You see it every single day in the news. Some kid does something fucking stupid, or you see it out in the public, and I just don't know what I'm going to do with them. And you look at the parents or somebody saying that, you're like, well, fucking look at you. What kind of example have you set? And that's a bad thing to say. It's taboo to talk about, the strong male role model, because I think we're we're pretty much villainized all across the world. But it's
Well, until
it
we
changes everything.
It does, but until we just talked about that, and you talk about the subliminal messaging, it kind of makes sense because you think about being in business is an awful lot like war. It's difficult every day. I mean, you take a lot of shots.
Not real war, but
yeah, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's hard. Perseverance is everything, and you want to do it so that
You're providing.
to provide for your kids so that they don't have to. But you still want them to produce.
Well, you
and
want
work
that.
and-
You want them to be.
and amount.
What's
But you
the
want it. You want
strong men create? What's the quote? I always fuck it up.
Hard times create strong men.
Yeah, hard times create strong men.
Good times create weak men.
Yeah,
Something like that.
You know the quote.
Yeah, it's something like that.
But
It's
you
like
you
hard
want
times
to.
yeah.
You don't want to be the weak generation. Just as the same thing, you don't want to be the weak link. So you want to make sure that you're always doing your part, where it's going to be easier on the next generation and your children and stuff.
Yeah, but quite frankly, I want my children to be prepared for their war, whatever it might be. Like I heard someone say, like, one of my things that I want to do is, like, I want to expose them to the world. I want it to be on my terms, though. I want when my kids go out at 18, 19, whatever it is, I want them to be where I am mentally then. Like, I want them, if I'm 50, I want them to have my mindset at 50, my resources, not so that they can chill, but so they can take it to an entirely different level.
It's a tall order.
And like that's my goal for them. I want them to absorb as much. Dude, we took them out of, like, we hired a teacher. I'm gonna travel with me, be on set with me, go to meetings with me, those types of things. I want them to understand what money is. It's a resource. It's a tool. It's like, I want them to understand all these things so that they can take it. I want to pass the torch and say, go, 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 and just take it to another level.
How old are your kids?
They're young. So I got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So they were about to start school, and COVID was going on, and we're like, is there school? Is there not school? What's going on here? We didn't know what was, and it was like, I don't want her first year to not know if they're going. So I was like, screw it. We're hiring a teacher, and we hired one. And I want to have one on staff, or two on staff here at Ironclad, that, like, all the kids can do. It's like an Ironclad schoolhouse kind of deal. Like, the kids can travel with their parents, see all that stuff. So
you're telling me that you want to raise kids that are prepared for life.
Weird concept.
Dude,
What about
crazy?
What about TikTok and all that? I mean,
My goodness. Yeah.
Dude, I see
wild.
I see the studies on that stuff. It's scary because we're in the world of it. It's what's the crazy thing is, like, you look at like the number one addiction is by far content, by the way. It's beyond opioids or sugar or any of that stuff. But
So you're basically a dealer.
Yeah, exactly. And we're saying, if we're a drug dealer, we might as well make some good stuff.
Ironclad cartel.
But dude, it's tough. I'll be like, I delete, like, all the social. I don't have it on my phone except for during launch weeks on my phone. And, like, on a launch week, I'll have it. Dude, I'll go in some vortex just scanning through whatever on this phone, and afterward I'm like, what did I do? What did I just spend all that time? And then I'm like, oh, this is how it works. This is how depression starts. And it's like, and I'm an adult with a fully developed brain. These kids, they get sucked in. It's tough.
Yeah, they gotta live that life. Yeah. If you could do this is a new one. It's unique to you. This is kind of the standard one, but it's a little different. This is what Jesse put on there. I'm just reading him, so blame him. If you could do a podcast with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dang, man. That is a
you can thank your brother for that one.
Yeah.
I would say alive. It'd
like,
probably be a lot easier.
On one?
Alive. That's what I choose.
I don't know. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I mean, I think I've always wanted to meet some of the people that I enjoyed watching growing up. Jim Carrey, I watched a lot. He'd be cool to meet. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
A little crazy.
Jim Carrey.
He's gotten a little weird, I will say.
Yeah.
I would say 1990s. Once again,
Fire Marshal Bill. You want to meet
80s.
Fire Marshal Bill?
I want to hang out
Dude,
with.
Fire
I want to
Marshal
hang out
Bill.
with Lloyd Christmas.
Yes.
Oh, in living color though. Yeah.
Dude, in Living Color, Elmira, or what was the woman that he played? The big strong woman.
Oh yeah.
Where he
Dude,
was like,
he was so good.
That was-
dude, he was the best, man. He was the best.
That's a good question.
Ken Griffey Jr. influenced me a lot as a kid.
Really?
That's
You know,
because
I
you
don't-
traded his rookie card for everything.
I
back
just
then,
went to a
dude.
Mariners game Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah, I took
No
a picture
way.
of Cam in front of a Ken Griffey Jr. Statue and bought him a jersey.
Oh, awesome.
Dude,
Dude, everybody
Griffey
from
was
our
the man,
generation.
dude.
Yep.
King
There's
Griffey
a-
Jr. rookie card.
Yeah, we traded the
Yep.
shit out of that card.
There's an awesome T-shirt out right now. It's Ken Griffey Jr. Your favorite baseball player's favorite baseball player.
Dude, I promise
dude, he
you. I
had
don't,
the swag.
oh yeah.
Yep.
I don't have like an exact memory of it, but I guarantee you I traded that card to see some boobs at some point when I was a kid. I just
Dude, that's a good trade.
It was currency.
yeah.
It was.
That Ken Griffey Jr. card gets you a long way. I don't know what it's worth
I-
today. They probably overproduced it. And
They did.
reproduced
Yeah,
it.
there's a documentary about that.
Yeah.
It's really good.
About Griffey and Ken Griffey
No,
Jr.
about
cards?
about baseball cards in the '90s and how many of them they reproduce and then how worthless they
You got any
basically are
baseball
now.
cards, Phil?
Because
No,
of that.
we.
What?
Phil's got a hell of a baseball card
What's
collection.
the?
I've got a big baseball card collection in my mom's attic that she threatens that she's going to make me take home every time I go to her house.
Oh, you should get that out of her house.
Ah, fuck you.
Should.
You should.
There's a lot.
I stumbled upon mine not too long ago in my parents' attic, quite actually, and it's a ton of Ken Griffey Jr. stuff. I'll tell you that.
I've got
Dude,
mine. I
I'm
know
never
where
good.
mine's at right now.
I got another good, like sports card story. Sports.
Sports.
I stole a Michael Jordan Beam Team card from Phil when we were kids.
Oh,
I
I've
felt-
heard this
Dude,
before.
I felt so guilty about it. I think I gave it back to him like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's in my
I
desk
was
drawer
like-
still.
It bothered me.
It
for
weighed on
years.
you?
I couldn't believe I did it, but it was, dude, that card was so cool. It was like thick stock. It had all
Like
kinds
the
of.
hologram on
Oh,
it. Yeah.
man.
So Jim
Dude,
Carrey
those
and Ken Griffey
hologram-
Jr.
those- I don't know. I was just thinking about who influenced me as a kid. The probably not them though. Ken Griffey Jr.'s gotten. He looks heavy now. He doesn't have the same swag. Jim Carrey's gotten a little weird. Probably not those guys, but they were just what
That was
popped in
good.
my
Hey,
head.
they're great answers.
I found a Nolan Ryan real quick. I found a Nolan Ryan card in there. First off, Nolan Ryan headlocked a guy and started beating the shit out.
Yeah, I
of him.
remember
Remember
that.
Yeah.
when
He was a
charged him out?
badass.
Nolan
Dude, he
Ryan,
was-
bar none,
Dude.
my favorite. I was living in Dallas at that time when he was throwing his, he got 7 no hitters. I've got a shit ton of Nolan Ryan cards. That was my guy.
Yeah.
He was a badass.
That was pretty cool.
He was a
Dude, he
fucking
was
cowboy.
awesome.
I mean, he was a fucking cowboy.
He would throw 100 miles per hour, and back then that was insane. And so I found this one in that card collection when I got it out of my parents' attic, actually, and it was gold. And I'm like, damn, dude, I just hit the jackpot. This thing is gold. The whole thing is gold. I looked it up on eBay. It's like $11.
$250.
Yeah, it's worth that stuff is worth nothing.
It's worthless.
What's it like working with your brother?
You guys should know that, right? I think that we haven't been doing it as long as you guys have. So Jesse was doing his own thing for a long time in Florida for a media company, and it was just the right time. We were wanting to do originals. He had already been doing podcasts for so long. He basically was the editor for that whole magazine and all their digital media. And when it was time, it was just the right time. We knew it. And he jumped on. And there's an intrinsic trust you can have with your brother, but there's also, the fact is like them better than the team knows them. So you have to give space rather than interpreting before the team interprets and figuring that stuff out. So it's been a fun ride for us. There's actually been no drama so far on our end. I don't know what you guys deal with on your side, but because it's basically like we both were on the same page on where it was, and he just basically has the keys on the original side, like run, 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 and I'm running the agency and the originals kind of. We're not in the weeds together. So we're in the big picture, and then we come together. So it's been fun for us, and it doesn't clash with family barbecues or anything like that, because I think I've already had to learn some hard lessons on carrying work into life, because I only employ close friends and family. I only bring them on, and I've learned the hard way by burning people out by always bringing it up. Hey, by the way, blah, blah, and that's all it was. Now I find people are bringing it to me, which I enjoy, I like, but I try not to throw it to them. So it's not been this big carryover thing or anything like that. It's been fun for me. But to a large degree, a lot of the people I work with are already like brothers to me too, because I've grown up with half of them. And people say don't hire friends and family. I like it. Yeah. There's those rare times that it sucks, like where you gotta split ways or something. But it's been a fun ride for
That's
me. How about you guys?
well, that's impressive because not a lot of people say that works when you start hiring friends and family. That can be a difficult thing. I mean, on our end, working together. I mean, I'll let Phil elaborate on it, but for us, I mean, we have a phenomenal working relationship. I mean, at least I'd like to think so. There's no drama, no
Yeah,
bullshit,
no
no
drama, no
fighting.
fighting. A little bit of separation is key. So I kind of run the whole front end of the business. He runs the whole back end. We both, like you said, the trust thing. I know that I don't need to worry about anything in the back, and he knows that he doesn't really need to worry about anything in the front. It's handled. We each have our own lane. We run with it. We're both in the same direction of just go, 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 take it to the top. So you have that, insane trust that, you might have doubts with an employee or somebody you hire that you don't know their history or, their outside life, what could be there. Um, Lost my train of thought
Yeah,
there, but yeah, it's been awesome to work. Um,
it's
and I don't think we could have built what we did without each other.
that's
Yeah, man, I'm in total agreement to you. I just, like I said, if you're putting in the time and energy that I know you guys are, and I know that we do, you better enjoy the people you're working with, because otherwise you're in hell. Nobody wants to be in hell.
no for
And
us. I mean, on our end, every single day starts off with us just bullshitting in Phil's office. I mean, every day starts off. I just walk in and we just shoot the shit. So it's a great relationship. And like Phil said, I mean, this place would absolutely not be here if it wasn't for the two of us. There's like what I do is not what Phil specializes in. What Phil specializes in, I mean, I'm absolutely not going to do that. So it's just a phenomenal team of skill sets. What Phil brings to the table and what I bring to the table, and it just, I mean, honestly, it just couldn't be a better team. And but you don't hear that a lot, which is
And I
you
think,
hear a lot of horror stories out there about
yeah, you hear a lot.
families and business.
Right.
And I think Josh is the only friend we've ever hired, and probably one of the only people we could. I think we have enough of an open relationship where we can call each other on our shit, and we know he's got the same kind of direction that we want to go. He's on the gas as hard, if not harder, than us. And I was kind of relating this to the whole iron sharpens iron thing that I brought up earlier. It's always you don't want to let Josh down, Jared down, me down between the three of us, and you're always going up against something that you feel is harder and stronger than you, so you need to keep rising above, which motivates them to rise above, which motivates you to rise above, and it just kind of like keeps going and builds
You're only
that whole
you're
momentum.
only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And
yeah, dude, that's
ha-
for sure. And
having
and like you think about their families too when it's someone close. That's the other thing. It's like, dude, I got their family. Anytime we're gonna make a big decision or anything like that, like I'm thinking about their wives, their kids, their houses, their this, their that. So it's like, for me, I like those stakes. Those stakes are I crave those types of stakes, and that kind of impact too. Um, that's why we take it so serious. Now, I don't like people that don't report directly to me. I don't. It's not. I don't. I'm not. They're not necessarily friends and family. But like my group that are with me are I haven't pulled anyone that I've never met.
Yeah,
Inner circle.
It's important. I mean, and with Josh, this relationship would have never worked. This podcast would never work if we didn't have a family type relationship. What are you doing?
I'm recording you say something nice.
Josh is recording this because I like to just destroy Josh, but I do it like it's like a brotherly thing. I mean, I just
You do it with love?
like on a daily basis.
It's more like a forging.
Do you think?
Just fucking
Yeah, it's like Damascus. I fold him over, I pound the shit out of him, and every single day. But with that being said, I mean, it's a family environment. I mean, dude, Josh's kids, watch my kids, and we have dinner together every Sunday night. If we're not, we can have a shit day at work on Friday, but we're hanging out Friday night, and it's very important to surround yourself with good people and treat those people with, great respect and build a family, and that's it. You feed off each other, and when I'm down, Josh lets me know if I come in the morning. I got to hear about why don't you tell me, what do I have to hear if I walk in? And
It's the same thing you tell me. So
all of
what size?
the three of us,
You can't be in a
cannot-
bad mood.
if you walk in with even the slightest fucking hint
Yep.
of a bad mood, or if sometimes you wake up and you're not on it that day. That shit does
did you
not fly.
Go shopping this weekend? Get yourself some new pissy pants? Because you are in a horrible mood.
Dude, we started this fucking podcast. Josh is running around. He's fucking with the cameras and
I
stuff.
was flustered. I was a little bit behind schedule.
So
sorry.
I asked him, was there a problem with the laundry? Did Jody not wash your pissy pants?
Pissy pants is the go-to for all of us. Anybody that's in the slightest bit of attitude, you can't be in a bad mood, and that's key because
you push each other.
Yeah, you got to push each other to get out of the funk and keep going.
I agree, and if we're gonna be in the trenches, it's you got to have fun doing it. So
Absolutely.
I know I don't even know what time it is. What time is it?
6 o'clock.
Yeah,
You got to be
we're good.
somewhere?
No, I'm being respectful of the guest time.
yeah, I'm good.
We're partners in this. Shh,
Dude, if you got to go.
No, I don't have to go anywhere.
Obviously, Josh has to go.
I'm being
somewhere.
respectful. So tell us about your wildest story having been out on the road with the Ironclad crew.
I'll tell you, there's a lot. I mean, we had to, there's like hard lessons and there's high risk stuff that we've done. But I'll tell you a funny one. We were, and this is just funny because we really don't know what happened to this guy. We were we were on this shoot, and we had this grip who the grip's a guy who carries lights around and stuff like that. And dude, we had this abandoned paper mill, and we were the Houston SWAT team, and we were doing it for an optics company. And and it's this abandoned paper mill that the guy found, and he's like, "Hey man, it's pretty bad in there." And we're like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, we'll show up." I remember showing up to this place thinking like, dude, I'm inhaling some terrible things, right? So I mean, the whole place is just fluttering with it's probably asbestos, and it's like 8 stories tall, and it's all these it's just a concrete building. It's all nasty. It's covered in this thin, like this slime that you can't tell where the floor ends and where the slime keeps going. And there's all these abandoned elevator shafts, and it's like it's just a puddle over the whole floor, so you don't know if you step, you could go right into a shaft. So we're filming in there, and people are claiming they saw ghosts and they did this and they did that, and we're filming in there, and this grip is walking with these lights on his shoulder, and we just kind of hear, "Huh!" and then he disappeared. He was literally walking.
It's like Mario, bro.
Right into the elevator shaft. Right into the elevator shaft. He said he felt like he went straight to hell. He didn't know what happened. He just went boom over in this slime. And we're all like, we're like, "Hey, where's the grip?" No one knew where the grip was. And then he shows up like 20 minutes and he's just covered in this, 20 minutes later, just covered in this slime. He fell in, he somehow fell to the pit, and he got out. And that night,
No calls for help.
Did it
nothing.
make a
Yeah,
cool
nothing.
sound when he dropped?
he
Like,
sang-
bloop, 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 like a fucking
no,
Super
we
Mario
don't know what
Brothers?
happened to him. So that night, he showed up to the hotel and he looked really bad. And like, we don't know what's in this water. And, you know, he said he was just going to drink a case of beer and hope it killed anything that got in him. Because he said he swallowed it all and everything. I don't even think we ever paid him. I don't think he ever asked us for an invoice. He might have succumbed to it, you know. So
I think he's on
you know,
X-Men now.
yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm telling you, but no, that was just a short, sweet one. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. You know, you go on the road with these guys and experience all kinds of things with different companies. So, dude, every time's an adventure. But that was a fun one. And really, I don't know what happened to that guy. If he's out there, send us your invoice, man. It's been 6 years.
That's great.
Oh man.
We've had some dead soldiers at some gentlemen's clubs, but never anything quite like that.
Yeah. That's the
Lost a few good men. You know?
That's the talk when we go to SEMA every year. You're dealing with other shops and other vendors and other companies out there, and you go out, have dinner, you have a few drinks. That's the stories that you will hear over the last 20, 30 years of that SEMA show. And I mean, employees that just never come back. I mean, you go to Vegas and they are gone. Vegas eats them up. Whether it's either gambling or whatever. It's amazing that. That Wednesday you go by somebody's booth and be like, "Hey, where was so and so? Don't know. Haven't seen him. Hasn't been back since yesterday."
I think we broke the engineer.
Who said that?
Chris.
Yeah.
There's several oyster incidents.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. There's Vegas is a.
It'll get it. No matter how good you think you are, it'll.
You do 10, 11 days in Vegas every single year for the last 20 something years, and that's
Get you.
You're gonna see some stuff out there.
Yep, you will. What's your all-time favorite car? We already talked.
Yeah.
You got to talk to your guys. I'm reading the script. They
his
doubled
brother.
up
Yeah, I
on
know.
this
What's
shit.
he doing?
I'm shocked. Your brother wrote the questions. How the fuck did he not?
Did it slide anything in?
Did he not slip something in? If
I
I was
think,
doing this for Phil, I would have absolutely.
I bet you Jesse outsourced this. Noah probably did it.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, hey, quick, just write this out for me real quick.
What's the best car movie and why?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think once again, if I go down to when I first started driving, I was heavily influenced by the first Fast and the Furious. I was ready to come out of there in my 1994 Eddie Bauer Explorer. I had neons underneath that I flipped, and I was ready to rock. It fell apart. The series fell apart. But that one for me out of the gate was good. A car scene I like is the pizza delivery guy on Home Alone when he hits the statue. I like that guy peeling out of the driveway.
That's a
That's
first.
a deep pull, man.
First.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember rewinding
pull.
that and playing that over and over as he was burning around the
Damn.
corner.
Dude, that happened right around the corner from here.
Yeah.
Lake Forest, right?
Dude, that house went up for sale
That was when
not too
that guy
long
was-
ago.
Oh, man. Yeah, right in our hood.
We also had Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
We
house.
did. A lot of good stuff happened out here.
We
You
also
guys
had
used to have some hits.
Yeah, some bangers.
we also had a video guy for a while, whose name was Kevin, and it was just nonstop. Kevin. Kevin.
Oh, and now it's time for the one that I know is coming. Most guests either sometimes they know
He's-
it's coming.
He's prepared.
I know I hope he's prepared.
Yeah.
Time for a pocket dump. What's in your pocket?
So, one thing I put in my safe because I don't want some people to know some of the stuff. But
Okay.
but right today I'm carrying a couple things. Hold on, let me see. Also did leg day, so not moving too well. First off, the keys to the 7.3, right?
Oh yeah.
So my daily wallet is the Magpul. It's super
DACA?
thin. It's not the dad wallets that you guys are used
Really?
to. The little
Yeah.
DACA.
It's like
Yeah.
paper thin.
It's my favorite one. Yeah, I've had the Ridge. I've had all of them. I used to have the dad wallet like you guys. Then I switched to these. These are I
Dude,
like them.
that looks like you can cut yourself with that thing.
I
A
mean,
little paper cutter.
perfect for the Magpul shirt
webbing.
today.
I saw the Magpul shirt,
Yeah.
so I got that. It doesn't hold cash, so I got some. Yeah, and it will, but you can't fit all of it.
Nobody
So I think I
carries
got some
cash anymore anyway. Cash is for
I
a
got
special occasion.
A Zyrtec D in case the allergies flare up.
Gotta have it, man.
That's the same thing that Chuck Norris has in his pocket. It's a Zyrtec.
And a little chapstick.
Because I got cash in the front pocket.
No money clip on it. You just stuff the cash, huh?
I bend it. Yeah, I bend it and stuff it. And
Huh.
then Microtech.
Oh,
yeah.
is-
Low TF action.
Yeah, so I will say this.
Serrated.
So I even I've been using this Microtech even in my mesh shorts. I put it in my hip of like if I work out or jump in the pool after. It's getting a little gunked up. I might have to send it back to Blade HQ to fix it.
Yeah. You did have
It's
so,
getting a little it doesn't always eject.
yeah.
you got to hit it with a little compressed air.
Sometimes
bit of
I
compressed
gotta
air.
whip it. And I also stabbed a mannequin in the face with it earlier, and I don't think it liked that too much.
So Blade
So
HQ will take care of those Microtech repairs, huh?
I actually did buy that from Blade HQ. That's not a
Nice.
joke. I did. And it's got the window breaker on there. Have you guys broken a window with them?
Yeah,
I've got
we
the
gotta try
window
that.
break. I mean, I've got probably half a dozen Microtechs. I've never busted a window.
I think we need to. That's going to be
With it.
part of our content creation at the end of the summer. We've got to get the ballistics gel dummies, right?
Behind
And
a window.
we're going to
Well,
have
we
to
can
get some glass.
Yeah, we can facilitate the door.
We're going to do extreme feats of strength. I don't know if Jeremy doesn't know about feats of strength that we do at least once a month,
Yeah.
maybe, or every
I feel
quarter.
like we
Every
blew,
third Tuesday.
Yeah, we blew past that way too fast. The feats of strength.
We're going to start. We're going to do an ironclad content creators feats of strength extravaganza Olympics.
I think we did because honest, like Ironclad, you guys, you've got all sorts of like badass
Yeah.
Navy SEAls and all these.
But
dude,
I
like,
tell you,
the
we can
shit
bring
that-
it.
The shit that goes down here, like I'd like to see a Navy SEAL tear a McMaster car catalog.
Yeah, dude, you haven't
No.
seen you haven't seen you've seen our knife strikes on video. I mean,
I
there's
can't
high
erase them
kicks.
from the mind. They were violent.
I mean Phil's equestrian skills. I mean, good grief.
Yeah,
We're
like him riding the horse with us knife striking off the back of it.
yeah. Dude,
Dude, you guys will show anyone.
Yeah,
up
Jack
with that
Carr
in
might be a
right.
Navy SEAL, but nobody he's never come across
No.
something like that.
We
He could
will
not
do
defeat
fast
that.
cars, fast horses for Phil, and explosions and guns. We can do a big event with all that and
Yes.
and do something awesome. Here's the question though, with this, right? Are you because the blade comes out of the tip there? Are you? I mean, when you're holding it, when you're striking a window, I feel like I'm gonna accidentally
Ooh.
release it and shoot it into my thumb if I put the top. I feel like this side I get caught up on the
All right.
like even when I wrestle with my son and that thing's in my pocket, dude, I shred his leg. If he's wearing shorts or something, I shred his leg up with that little.
That's a learning
clip.
experience.
We've
Like if I start wrestling, I immediately pull it out and tuck it all the way in my pocket.
I
with
feel
them.
like
Big-
it's
I
just
murdered the steering wheel in my wife's car with the pocket clip getting
Getting
in,
in?
Yeah.
and just took all the leather right off the bottom.
I catch the back door on all the dualies
Yeah.
as you're getting in because I'm a right
Yeah.
pocket carry. So
Yep.
like, and I feel guilty saying it because I like to like not have any fuck ups.
Mm.
But the black, it's got like a series of chips.
But there's not much force on the
the
outside.
Yeah.
We did a bunch of like holding up to a piece of paper and trying to shoot it through,
Yeah.
and most of the time it stops it and won't go through paper.
That's true. And I was doing that in the conference room. Matt, you guys know Matt. He had a carbonated drink, and I was getting right by it, like acting like I was gonna poke it with it, and it ejected and actually punctured it and sprayed all over the conference room.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it will-
It's enough of that.
And then I got one more thing that I'm carrying that once again I'm in my office, so I have a little box that I put some other stuff in. But this is a electric shock pen. It looks like a pen, but it will shock you when you
Oh,
press the button.
Yes.
Did you get
Now,
that
I
at
carry
Spencer's
these-
Gifts?
You got
yeah.
that at Spencer's,
No,
didn't you?
no,
They still
let me
got
tell you the
malls
story.
by
This
you?
is what,
Is it Magic Ink
Listen-
too?
Listen, guys, you know we got tourist shops everywhere around here. Okay, so I take my kid to go get a acai bowl, and I park at the bank.
Okay.
The bank is right beside it here at the oceanfront. Well, it's a Saturday. They tow you like that. They took my 7.3. They took it, and I'm
Ooh.
like, so I call my wife. I'm like, hey, come pick me up. In the meantime, we're gonna walk in the gift shop. Well, guess what? They got a whole row of electric shock things. Now I've become addicted to them. I got electric shock tape measures, electric shock little grip things, electric shock gum.
I know about the gum. I never knew this about you, but I remember the
Hey,
fucking gum.
Dude, to everyone here, I'll do like a fake birthday card for the clean. I'm like, hey, it says like Teresa, thanks for all the work you do. I'm like, hey, the cleaning lady needs to here, sign this. We're giving a birthday card to her, and I'll make them
And you
shock
light her up?
themselves right in front of me. Oh, dude, I
Here's Jeremy's
go
little
into
guilty
great lengths.
pleasure. He's-
you know, sometimes, and I don't know if this is just me. I don't know if you guys ever feel like this. Sometimes when I walk back in my office after something like that, I'm like, am I Michael Scott? Have I become Michael Scott from The Office?
I was just going to
Is that what
say,
these guys think of me?
I feel a little bit better that I'm not the only one that works with the two step brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, step
They're
brother. There's this
But
third.
anyway, the shock pin, I recommend them. They're great. They'll throw them clean across the room.
I like that.
So
Yeah. I knew
Bring
we
in
were
the
gonna. I knew
repertoire.
we were gonna get to his vice. Sooner or later, we're gonna get to Jeremy's vice. That's awesome. Well, Jeremy, it's been great.
Yeah, dude, it's been awesome. Another awesome
guys.
fucking Jeremy. That's crazy how many we've got. Like there's just
I feel like you stacked the deck.
Yeah.
we send there's another Katz is still kind of waiting. McGrath, Jeremy McGrath at some point. There's just, man, something about that name.
Ron?
Yeah.
That's the last name.
He hasn't had a real good run lately,
No,
so
yeah.
we'll just kind of sweep that one under the rug. But yeah,
I appreciate you coming on. It's been great. And we knew you'd have a great story. We knew it'd be great fun, and we've been friends. You are the man behind the scenes that runs a great team that makes us look way better than we really are in person.
and an inspiration to anybody in business.
Absolutely.
Well,
Check
we
'em.
appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, and you guys the same, man. I mean, like I said, it's been since our first work together, even doing that little web commercial with mechanics. We knew that we wanted to work with you guys more. We hit it off immediately. Like I said, we went to lunch and it was a fun time. This is only the beginning of many fun collaborations, and I think the audience will be sharpened by the content and get some real entertainment value out of what we get to show them in the future. I have really I'm excited about what's to come, and like I said, we've already had some stuff on the cusps. There's going to be, after this thing continues on, we're going to only have more options and just make some really awesome stuff.
No
awesome,
pressure. If Ironclad Extreme Feats of Strength doesn't happen end of summer, there will be no season
bring
2.
your best, bring
Yeah.
your Navy SEALs. All
Yeah,
those
bring it.
guys.
We've got to do this and bring the big
shit's
guns.
going down.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, after seeing your violent strikes, I just don't know if people are going to be willing to compete with you. But
Understandable.
Yeah, 100% understandable. But no, we
Yeah.
appreciate it, man. You've been awesome to work with, and I think one of the biggest compliments that we can give is when we did our first road tour series, we just kind of said, we're super involved in everything. We want to be hands-on, the direction, every angle, every shot, and we watched all your stuff, and we're just like, yeah, dude, just let them do their thing. They got it handled.
Yeah.
So being able to find somebody and partner with somebody that has the same, if not better, vision and directive, it's been a huge help for us, and just can't say enough great things about working with you guys, and appreciate everything that you've done, and much respect for you and all your team, man.
Absolutely.
thanks so much, guys. We appreciate it, and thanks for having me on.
Appreciate
Take
it.
it easy,
Thanks,
dude.
Jeremy.
Cool. All right, guys.
Later.
Big thanks again to Jeremy Carey. You can see more about Ironclad by following them on social media at This Is Ironclad. Coming up next, we're breaking down some of our new favorite pieces of gear in the glove box, and we've also got listener questions. All right. Next up, it's time for In the Glove Box. This In the Glove Box segment is brought to you by Blade HQ. Whether you're into cars, motorcycles, hunting, fishing, grilling, or any number of things, you've got the tools that you swear by. Have you ever noticed that the tool that finds its way into every job is a knife? Do you have the knife that you swear by? Do you?
Absolutely.
Yes or no?
I got a handful of them.
You've got a few
I
knives
have
that
a
you swear
whole
by.
mess of them.
If you don't, it's time you got yourself one. And Blade HQ is the place to get it. They've got the knives to fit any hand, any belt, any job, and any budget. Just go to bladehq.com/oil and whiskey to shop their selection of knives. Before we get into this, where are we at on the Stillhouse deal? Are you close on your Stillhouse cocktail entry?
I've been super busy.
I don't
man.
need excuses. Are you close? Yes or no?
As far as like knowing what drink I'm going to make, yeah,
No.
I'm right there. But
Are
yeah,
we
like,
gonna?
I mean, just the honest answer is no.
In the next 2 weeks, will we have a drink?
Yes.
Sweet. Jeremy's. We're waiting. Everybody's waiting. The whole shop has been waiting for you to do.
It's a
they
lot of
want
fucking pressure, dude. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
Got some big shoes to fill.
I know.
that's right.
Yeah.
If you want to quit right
you can
now,
just bow out.
Yeah, you can bow out.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah, because that's generally the way that I like to roll. I usually just bow out when it comes to a challenge.
That's a no.
Yeah, that's a fucking no. That's a no. I'm not bowing out because you guys both know in the back of your heads that I'm winning this shit.
Just no. Mark it down. We gave you the chance
Multiple
to bow out.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I got it.
Cool.
That's a big 10-4.
All right. What do we have this week? First up, what are we drinking? What are we drinking this week? This was Phil's choice. I quite like it, but it was Phil's choice.
It was. Going with Old Elk Double Wheat. Been a huge Old Elk fan. No sponsorship yet, but been rocking their the other wheat bourbon.
Sorry about that, guys. That was a sneeze. That was a second.
Loud sneeze.
Felt good. Go ahead.
So took a flyer a while back on Old Elk. Hadn't really heard of them. It's distilled in Colorado, I think. Did their wheated bourbon. It was phenomenal. They've since come out with a few other ones. This is a double wheated. Got their Infinity blend. They have a Cabernet cask version.
You see the new one they come out? They got a 4 wheat.
We got that as well. Yes.
You got that?
Yeah, I got that and this one at the same time. We haven't tried the 4 wheat yet.
When did you get the 4 wheat?
It's sitting on the shelf in the other room.
I didn't know you got it.
Yep.
Secrets.
But honestly, can't say enough really good things about them. Really liked everything I've tried from them so far. And then I bought the kind of their cheaper entry level blended bourbon in a holiday pack because it had this badass gold elk head pour.
It was worth
How-
it.
So-
how
Because
was the
that's a cool
blended?
pour.
I haven't
I
drank
have-
it yet. It's sitting right over there.
Huh.
I just opened up just to take the elk head off. But you guys give your reviews on it. I've been a huge fan.
I like the double wheat. I don't like the double wheat as much as I like the just wheated. Myself, I do like it. It's good.
Double wheat's just a little more spicy. I mean, you look at the proof; it's 107 proof. It's got some bite to it. But what's
it
interesting?
doesn't drink like a 107.
That's exactly right. It when we first saw that, I was like, we're pouring it. I said, oh shit, it's a 107. That
Yeah, I ran downstairs and grabbed a bottle of water so we can splash a little bit in.
it's gonna burn. But
Good.
it's probably one of the smoother bourbons that's like north of 105 proof. It's
7.3 for me.
everything's good that
Oh,
they
just
make.
cut right to it, huh?
Yep.
Not even fuck
Josh
around.
is just dropping it like it's hot. I would agree with the fact that I don't think it is as good as their is it the single wheat? What do they call that?
Just
Their-
the
There's
wheated.
two.
Because they
There's
have
a
two
straight
yeah.
wheat and the
They have-
wheated.
okay, yes,
The wheated is good. The straight wheat was not that great.
Yes.
Right.
So the wheated, phenomenal. Straight wheat, meh, not
It's
so
not
good.
bad, just not as good
Yeah.
as the wheated.
But having said that, I will say that just about everything in their lineup is solid. It's a great brand, great bourbon. I always
get cold feet when it comes to something out of Colorado. I've had that tin cup out of Colorado, which always made me, a little bit gun shy for Colorado bourbons because it fucking sucked. But
You know why I give this a 7.3 is it drinks older than it is.
Hmm.
It really does. It's not.
Is there an age
There's
statement
not
on
an
there?
age statement on it. It's not, I can guarantee it's not super old, but it drinks
yeah,
older.
I'm going
than it-
7.0 on it. It's great.
Jeremy's a
Uh,
7.0.
I'm gonna
Then-
go 7.5. I'm a big fan.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
throwing it
whoa,
at it.
whoa, whoa!
I just like half numbers. It's too much bullshit picking in between. It's my new
Tell
move.
us about the pour on it though, Phil, because that's something that you brought to that. Where the fuck did that come from?
What I said, there was a holiday pack with their blended bourbon.
Oh,
It's
the
like kind of their
pour-
entry level. It's
okay.
like $40.
Look-
It came in there.
Me
It's
and
a
Phil looked at it
gold
like
elk.
3 or 4
this,
times.
This takes that. Honestly, that takes that from a 7.0 to a 7.5. To me, that sucker's got some weight to it.
Yeah, that's some heft.
Yeah.
You
that
just
is-
feel fancy drinking out of an elk head.
Oh,
Hey, you
when are you
feel-
ever going to have a golden elk head baby bird some bourbon into your mouth?
Yeah.
That doesn't
Probably
happen every
never.
day.
But the old elk, if you're out at the liquor store, I'd say that is probably at the top of the list, honestly. Like for something that you want to hit every day and you don't feel bad drinking it
Yeah, 'cause
because
you
you
can
know
find
you
it.
can get it.
Yep.
That's important because there's a lot of phenomenal bourbons, but you're going to drink them once, and that is more than likely the last time that you're going to drink them. I mean, I
Or
love
you're
all
gonna
the
pay through the nose to get
yes,
them.
I love all the Peerless stuff. All those phenomenal, but I'm always nervous to drink them because I
can't
don't know
replace
when
it.
I'm going to get them again. An Elmer T. Lee, a Blanton's, all those that check the boxes. Seldom are you going to find them again sitting on the shelf. Old Elk,
Yeah, their weeded has been
always
my
there.
go-to daily driver.
grab the weeded, crush it, drink it, share it with your friends. And
Buy
find the
any of
fucking
the-
holiday pack because
Yeah.
when
They-
you
they've got
throw
it out
that little
again.
nozzle on there,
Yeah.
that's fuck
Makes
the
it just
fuck-
a little bit
It-
nicer.
It does. Fuck the little Blanton's horse. You collect all your Blanton's horses all you want, but they sure as shit don't regurgitate
That's got some
bourbon
It's got some
into your
status
glass.
right there.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So try
Drink
it.
it,
We
buy
gave
it.
our reviews.
yeah, it's good.
Next up, what do we have in our pockets tonight? It's time for the pocket dump. Phil,
Everybody's
why don't you go
favorite.
first? What do you have in your pockets?
I stepped it up a little bit tonight.
I doubt,
I've been-
doubt that.
Fuck you! You're gonna eat your words.
I doubt it.
I've been slacking a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
going with the same old, same old. So I did a little digging. Start out with a little gift from a customer. Great guy out of California, James Shira. He got each of us some knives, and then he also got Josh a little something special there.
Oh yes, he did.
A little bit of Vienna sausage.
Not a little bit.
It was a whole pallet full of Vienna sausages.
Go ahead and rephrase that.
Hey, can we zoom in on that because that is how
Can you
many.
screen share it?
That's how many Vienna sausages.
Well,
Screen
We
share
can-
that, Josh.
I don't.
Go ahead.
It'll be up in the episode. You're
It'll
going to
be-
be
yeah.
looking right now at
It
my
will
office.
be up in the episode, but
It was 2,900 individual cans
Yeah.
of Vienna sausages.
That were then stacked throughout your desk, office, everywhere.
Everywhere.
It was fucking awesome.
They were everywhere. They
And
were
this all started-
absolutely fucking everywhere.
Did you wear this shirt? I bought you the shirt.
No, I've got the shirt in my office. Did you buy the
Yeah, I
shirt?
bought the shirt.
Where did you find that?
That
Online?
was like a 3-second Google search.
poor James Shira that had to,
Poor James Sheeran?
yeah, he probably tells the story like, about the time that he slummed it with the Roadster Shop guys because we stopped at a fucking truck stop / gas station. Where the fuck it was like?
How is,
was
first
on
of
the
all,
way to
I would-
Columbus.
I
It
want
was
to
this
see
time
how
last
you
year.
spin that James Sheeran is the fucking victim in this.
Because he had to
He
be.
had to witness it.
Yeah, he was along for the ride on a great little Roadster Shop tour. We're driving these beautiful cars through the countryside, and then there you are. You lead us into this just absolute shit gas station
Ugh,
for
I'm gonna throw up.
snacks, and you go in there, and you come out of all things like you bypass the Hostess products,
They had homemade cookies. I got some phenomenal homemade cookies.
And you come out with a little jar of Vienna sausages.
Yeah, it's just fucking
Dude,
snack.
I
It's a
don't even.
road snack.
Honestly, it's fucking disgusting
Take a
seeing
bite.
your little
Take a bite.
fingers.
Take a bite.
Do you eat the whole? You have to eat the whole
Yes,
thing
it's
at
a
once.
fucking hot dog.
You're probably gonna die.
Just eat it. Oh, stop. Stop. 2-year-old. Eat it. Oh, good grief. I bet you were a fucking handful as a kid with green beans.
There was one time he wouldn't swallow his steak. You remember that?
Yeah,
Dad slapped
slap
in
in the back of the
head.
fucking head.
Spit it out.
It's good, isn't it?
Wow,
It's not bad.
it's actually not too bad.
Phil,
Not gonna happen.
get you one.
Hard pass. No, thank you. That doesn't even look like it should be edible.
Wow, dude, I was gonna go on a fucking rampage and just shred you.
Not bad, aren't they? Just a fucking hot dog.
I don't know if it's just that I haven't
In
had
water
dinner.
in a can.
Presentation isn't the best. I'll be honest with you there.
And I wonder if you like put a little paprika on it and some celery, or like
Don't church it up.
garnished it a little bit, laid it on a plate.
Dude, we start doing gourmet fucking Vienna sausages.
Wow, let me see what's. Oh, you just crushed the whole fucking thing,
Oh,
huh?
there's some more in there.
Yeah, there's 2,944 cans
So-
left.
Let's see the nutrition facts on a Vienna
It
sausage.
just says none.
Pure
It
salt.
says none.
160 calories, 70% fat, cholesterol, sodium. Oh, sodium. They put some salt in that shit.
The fine print at the
Carbs,
bottom
total
says you're going to
sugars.
die.
No, there's 10 grams of fucking protein in it.
Get you another one of those.
Start a whole new
There's-
trend.
There's folks listening right now that grew up.
Dude, on air.
If my granddad was still alive right now, there
I'm gonna
was
tell you what, dude. It's rare that I say this on air. You have made me a believer.
they're good, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's a good little snack.
Come on.
Not gonna happen.
How many of these did James Shearer send?
He sent 2,900 plus cans.
There's a pallet.
They are all over my. I came back from being gone for a week, right? I came in on a Friday. I had a shit ton of emails that I had to get caught up on. All I wanted to do was get back to work. I walk in the my office, and I didn't notice until I was going upstairs, and everybody was kind of like following me. I'm like, fuck, everybody's got something to talk about. Go into my office, and it was just one of those instant like, oh shit. It's followed by, what the fuck am I going to do?
They're fucking everywhere.
My monitors were raised by those cans of Viennas.
Your phone.
Everything was suspended.
So you pronounce that Vienna.
Vienna sausage. Well, my granddad pronounced it Vienners.
Made with chicken, beef, pork added
Yeah, it's meat.
in chicken broth.
Made with meat.
Hmm.
When I was a young lad, working with my granddad, doing
Doing
construction.
sheetrock?
No, this is prior to sheetrock. This was
It hadn't
this
been
was
invented yet.
This was 11, 12, 13 years old. We'd run downtown to get some lumber. We'd do whatever. As far as he was building houses, he was a fireman as well. Like, hey, we're going to stop and get some lunch. Answer was always the same. We'll stop at the gas station and get some Vienners.
Vienners. Oh,
Vienners.
you threw the R. It's like Warsher.
He was
Squashed it.
he was
Squished it.
from
little
around.
Liberace. Squished it.
it was Hawaii. It was Vienners, and it was
Huh.
pillar. If you went down and went to sleep at night, you laid your head on a pillar. He was from Alabama his whole entire life, never left, and that's where I got my. I don't
Your
think I had a
hankering for
choice. I
sausages?
don't think I had a choice but to like
Dude,
Vienners.
that's like
You don't have a choice but to eat a shit ton of
Yeah.
them now.
I sit there and I shit talk like I'm a believer now, dude.
It's a good snack.
Like I could see myself snacking on those, but as a kid, you remember Dad used to eat the oysters in a
Yeah.
can,
Oh, he was an oyster. I was going to
Yeah.
say sardines.
No,
Yeah,
it's
fucking
the most
oysters in a
disgusting
can.
thing ever.
and I would, he'd
They were
fucking
fresh.
Yeah, fresh. when
Yeah,
you,
out
like,
of Louisville, I
they were
believe.
they were fresh when you opened the can. And I would sit there on the couch and crush those things with them. I haven't had them in fucking 30 years.
Never
but-
touch those, and I will never touch those either.
I didn't realize you were so highbrow. Tomorrow for lunch, oysters and Viners. Canned oysters, canned Viners.
All right.
Next
keep
up,
going. Next up. Got a little something here. A little different, but similar. Speaking of highbrow, my mother got me and
She didn't. She
my
got
brother.
you?
Hey, you got the same thing.
yes.
You have
I have.
created a fan.
Good.
You remember this?
Oh yeah, I forgot. about
This
that
is
thing.
a Shun Cutlery personal folding steak knife.
Look
Little
at you
flipper
guys.
of a steak
I
knife.
forgot about that. Those are fucking awesome.
Yeah. Cool little fucker. Ebony handle, stainless blade, little flipper. Sorry, we'll put that out there. Little bit too highbrow for me to rock, but yeah.
First of all, here's my statement. Super cool that you have one. However, if you're the type of guy that goes to a steakhouse and you pull out your own knife,
That's where I'm at, right? So it hasn't been used.
That's either a flex or like, what the fuck is the matter
wrong
with
with
this guy? Yeah.
dude, Outback has steak knives.
As many as you
So-
need. Like you can have two. We'll give you two. You can
Yeah.
work
We
with
have a
both hands.
family history of steak knives because my grandmother used to habitually steal steak knives from
Oh.
restaurants.
Oh, that's
and
where you
throw
got
them
it
in her
from.
purse.
Talking about.
Yeah.
You stole your steak knives?
Yeah.
So yeah, Shun, they make some pretty badass
They do.
cutlery, chef's knives. And now I have my own personal steak knife. It actually says on here, this is a gentleman's steak knife.
I think it's
And I am a gentleman.
I think it's fucking awesome. I would love
Great to
have
use
one.
at home. I've never used it.
I've never been to a steakhouse so fancy that I had to bring my own
Me
steak
neither. It
knife.
comes with this fancy little sheath. I wish it had a belt loop on it because had it have a belt loop on it,
What would you have done with it?
I would have worn it
Oh shit!
on my Roadster Shop cowboy belt buckle.
Damn!
Suck it.
Phil's fucking bringing it tonight with the totally overlooked
Yeah.
RS belt buckle.
Didn't
Look
Yeah.
didn't
at
know
that.
this. Didn't know this was a
I didn't know we were going there.
competition.
I didn't.
Now that I
Well,
know,
If it's a
because
competition, we
I
lost.
won.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Can
what.
we zoom in with that
Look.
camera? I would get some of that. Yeah. I suffered through some extreme uncomfort today to wear that. But I look like a badass.
why'd you keister it in? You should have just wore it.
It's still warm, isn't it?
It is warm. That is
You-
still
you
to
found
this
them,
day.
right?
I did.
Yeah.
This
That's one of the coolest things I own.
I agree with you. I do not wear it, but maybe once or twice a year, and that's for special occasions only.
Dude, I'll tell you
Usually bring it to Vegas. But that's all cool. And that's fine if you want to show out.
I wasn't done yet.
Oh, you got more?
Keep going.
Keep going, bring it.
Go on.
Should
Hey,
we?
go on. Get it out of your system.
We're going to talk about knives then still.
Go ahead, bring it.
So, carrying still this Civivi Elementum. I have become a huge fan. I'm a creature of habit, and when I find something I like, I continue to rock it. So I put the Benchmade down. Been rocking that for like 3 or 4 weeks.
That's a
Um,
huge deal because of how much you love that Benchmade.
Had a bunch of people ask, couple friends, couple neighbors, couple people in the industry that aren't like carrying knives on a daily basis, what I would recommend for like a good entry level knife to carry on a daily basis. I think that's it 100%. It's like a $65, $70 knife, bunch of different color combos, different scales, different blade types, different blade colors. Been a huge fan of it, and actually ordered another one with that rubbed bronze scale on it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Boy.
The only thing I don't
Bring in
like
the
is
heat.
just the again the color on the scale. Everyone asks if it's glow in the
That
dark.
natural G10. Yeah, it's not for everybody,
Yep.
especially not
So-
for entry level guys.
Yep. You saying elementary level?
No, I'm
No,
saying
yeah.
you're telling your friends and neighbors and stuff like that. That's not the color that they would probably be first drawn to.
That's what I've been carrying. Switching it up. I am now gonna start this week carrying the Kershaw. I forgot what it was called.
If you got like a fanny pack down there, where's all this shit coming out
It's
of?
just sitting on the floor.
That's like a large fanny pack or
That's
a
a-
small duffel bag.
That's a big ass glove box.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
That's like
Look
a
at the box. See the
mid
name on this one.
90s Chevrolet glove box.
Lucha. Lucha.
It is not. It is something 11.
It's the Launch 11.
It is the Kershaw Launch 11. So I rocked the Kershaw Launch 4 a couple weeks back. Cool knife, but it was a little too small for me. And then I found this guy, the 11, similar knife, bigger size. Gonna give it a whirl.
Let me see that.
Cool stonewash blade, digging the American flag etched into
It's
it.
cool that you like that because this is actually the one that we're sending to the listener questions winner. So
Really?
cool. Glad you like
I
it.
hope you enjoyed it.
Is she gone?
Yeah.
Damn it.
You can get another one. Head over to Blade HQ.
So
and pick one up.
the old
But-
Launch 11.
Yeah, cool automatic
is.
aluminum frame, pretty slim,
That's got a little.
stonewashed blade.
got a little
It's got
yank
some,
to
yeah,
it.
it's got some pop to it. So that's what I'm rocking. Gonna give it a review this week. See what I think.
Damn.
Phil brought the heat.
That's all I got.
Good for Phil.
In second place,
Okay.
Should we just pass along the grand prize over to me?
I think we should.
should
What
I take,
I'm-
should I
what
take
I'm-
my toys off the table?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
go
can
ahead.
take
Go
your
ahead.
toys.
Get that out of there. We don't have room for that shit. Get out of there. You and your pocket knives and things.
What do we have in our pockets? Jeremy.
What do I have?
Made of steel.
Yeah, what do I
Brawn.
have in my? I have many things in my pockets, but I also have this.
Folded steel.
Get a look at that. And Phil over here is bringing the heat,
Yep.
and this is Phil's night
It is Phil's night.
I feel
Because-
like it was because
because this happens to be
it's a birthday present.
a little gift from me and Josh for you, Phil.
Really?
Because we discovered this on the old interweb, on the Instagram, and said to ourselves, "That's fucking badass. Who would appreciate that?" And we said that
The barbecue guy.
the barbecue guy would,
Shit.
because who can use a badass carving
Oh,
knife?
Shit. Is that a brisket slicing knife?
It is. What's
It
whatever
cuts
you
meat.
decide.
Yeah, you cut meat with it.
Damn.
It is
That
a
thing is fucking awesome.
hammered Damascus knife,
Fuck.
and they've got a killer little social media and popped up.
I take
I-
back most of the stuff I said
Yeah,
about you guys.
I-
I almost
I-
feel bad at this.
I'm gonna be
Like,
honest with you. I
This
looked.
thing is
Yeah,
awesome.
I looked at it and I said, I wanted that, but you can't cut chicken tenders or Totino's pizza rolls with it. So I said, like,
and
who can use
You
this?
don't need to cut Vienna
No,
sausages.
'cause
Those
just
are
melt in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, so this is folded
And
steel
it-
Damascus, badass.
And in addition to that,
I mean, that's
Another
cool.
sheath.
obviously we start shopping, and I'm sure you saw this all on the credit card statement.
I did not. Yet. This wasn't just recently.
So, folded steel lays it down, because here you have an awesome little distressed leather sheath. Now, typically,
Hang on.
typically a sheath packages a knife,
This is a chef's roll, I believe it's called.
not alone enough knives to necessitate a chef's roll. So, here you have it. But
Well done, Wayne.
here's the problem: the slicer doesn't fit in the
the-
chef's roll. So the chef's roll
Oh, wow.
has everything that you need for slicing meat.
What did I do to deserve all this? Or what do you two have coming that I don't know about that you're
I don't know. We just
pre-apologizing with?
honestly, this one we just generally thought it was like a nice thing to do. So it's not backhanded. We're not
Damn.
leveraging anything. But look at this. it was just so cool, and I just couldn't think of anybody else
I
that
have
would
wanted a
appreciate it.
cleaver for quite some
I
time.
mean, look at that thing.
That thing is fucking badass.
So they say you've got to oil them,
Yeah.
right? They provide some oil.
Yep.
So they don't rust.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean,
It's legit, not the
yeah,
the
typically
store bought crap.
right.
Yep. Fuck.
typically those knives would be, I guess, like stainless steel or something, but they're Damascus steel. So
Yeah, Damascus is by
Guys, I'm pretty fucking blown away. This is awesome.
yes, we
This is some of
Brought
the
this-
coolest shit I've seen.
So,
I'm
brought this to
that's
scared
what
to
you
death.
that's
of
what
what's
you
coming.
get for showing off. Oh, just it's Nova.
Yeah, so
That's
the
fine.
Nova is in the showroom right now. we bought the 632.
So
So yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
So yeah, you,
I gotta step my fucking grilling game up now to get on
You
par
just
with
lay
these.
it
for
out
some
there.
meat.
I invite you guys over for some grilling too. I guess is where it's
I
going.
think that's
I think
where it
that's
has to
that's
go.
kind of where we're going with it.
Yeah.
Is just-
I've
Make
wanted a
some of your
badass
meat.
cleaver for a
Yeah.
while. I'm gonna cut the shit out of some shit with
If
this.
you especially have to keep them oiled if you're going to keep them in the leather roll because the
It
leather,
enhances
the leather makes
rustation.
rust faster.
Damn. Well, thank you guys
Yeah.
very much.
So-
I think us, me and Jeremy, as well as the listeners, are all super excited and waiting for some of Phil's knife skills videos.
knife
You-
skills in the barbecue.
Knife skills in
Knife
the
There'll be a
skills in the
lot
barbecue.
less,
barbecue, and because
in
Well, that's
them, but
do what you
So,
want to do, but that's fine.
the one like the main thing that Phil has brought to the table is ruining every steakhouse
Oh.
for all of us.
well, in
can
my
confirm.
our family, our like whole entire families, like our children too.
Yes, everybody. Because you used to go to like Ruth's Chris, Gibson's, any of those, and you just find like you get a ribeye, you get a fillet. It's a phenomenal. So you felt like you were treating yourself to something.
Not anymore.
But then when you get some of Phil's meat,
Yeah.
it's a fucking game changer. Honestly. Game fucking changer.
It's always like
Phil-
this was a great night, and the food was okay. I mean, it's not like Phil's house. I mean, it's not like Snake River Farms when Phil makes it. But
It's not really me. It's mostly what I'm buying, and then just
well,
so in the
but
future,
put the knives to
yeah.
good use.
I definitely will, guys. I'm floored. This is some awesome stuff. Speechless. I've wanted some badass Damascus. I've wanted some badass chef knives. I've gotten shot down multiple times by my wife that you don't need those.
Well,
now you got
I
it.
you've got 'em. I
appreciate
don't know
that.
how I don't know if that's like the most user friendly platform of rolling out like the distressed leather.
No, but you look
sheath,
like a
but you look like a
badass.
yeah.
Yeah,
You absolutely look like you know what you're doing.
that's half the battle.
So you can probably go to Aldi and get like a flank steak or whatever, throw it on the Coleman and roll that out.
Chop it up, still look
And
badass.
look legit.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
But check them out, Folded Steel. Very interesting brand. We can't say too much about it until Phil starts slicing up some meat on them.
They look sharp.
But,
Try it on your fingers.
Phil.
I feel like I won tonight. Like
Yeah,
on
Phil-
multiple
You did win.
fronts.
Phil brought
Phil
the fucking
won.
heat. Received the heat. I am rocking the Osborne Benchmade, which is another awesome little piece from Blade HQ. Good daily carry. Anything from Benchmade's badass. Don't know if I'm so in love with the blade shape.
It's a love it or hate it kind of thing.
It's love it or hate it, but it's perfect size
Is that
for
the sheep's foot? Sheep's lamb's wool?
That's a little it's a sheep's foot hybrid
Variation.
blade. Yeah. My son is in love with this knife right here. He keeps talking about it. He's been talking about it for quite some time. I think you should carry it for at least a week or two and see what you think. Because I'm a little intrigued with it, but I'm with you. That's a different.
It's a great carry. I love the style of it. I love the little green anodized accents when you look
And they're
down
good
in
with
it.
the details.
That's the stuff that kind of gets me. Jumps out, looks super cool. It's just the right size for a daily carry. I mean, obviously it's a Benchmade, so then the blade's super high quality. Killer daily driver. I'm gonna have to get used to the blade shape. That's it. So overall, for now, I'm I'm digging it. Beyond that, it's the usual. I got nothing
Same
super
old, same old.
special in the pockets. Actually, as I'm feeling my pockets here, I'm wondering where the fuck my keys are, which is kind of making me a little nervous.
Hmm.
Because
You know what?
the fuck? Oh, there they are.
There they are.
Probably
Yeah.
probably
It's
working.
these goddamn pants. Spencer was asking about what you recommend for tight pants. It's these baggy fuckers. When you wear these baggy ass fucking pants, that's what happens.
That's what happens when you
Yeah.
wear sweatpants in public.
Yeah, you lose shit.
Yeah.
When you wear a nice pair of tight pants,
that's
you
one
know
thing.
exactly where everything is at.
I am
Well, that's
rocking
it.
the standard shit as well. Still rocking the Ridge wallet. I have to say I'm quite impressed. I like it.
Really?
Yep. It's almost like you don't have a wallet at all.
I thought it'd be the complete opposite. I
telling
was looking at it. It doesn't look
It-
like it'd be comfortable.
It is. I forget that I've got it on me. This little
Huh.
thing right here is nothing. Been rocking the Benchmade for the last couple of weeks. But tonight I have
Switching it
transitioned.
up.
Yep. Phil's got big badass knives, so I decided I'm going to go to a big badass knife, and that's the new Gerber fixed blade. I'm a sucker for FDE.
Damn.
Yeah,
Are you really gonna carry that?
I'm going to try.
That's like a good backpack.
We're going to
knife.
see. I think that I can work this. The way this sheath is done, I
Dude,
think I can
I'm
work
gonna be
this as a
honest.
side.
I think tonight's the night. This is the first knife.
Oh, damn.
Doesn't stick.
You got it. Damn, look at that. Right in the table.
You got to go
Wow.
straight.
Yeah,
You're
they
going on an
fold,
angle.
They fold over and you drill them in there.
Let's just
Hold on.
ruin this thing. Hang
No,
on.
we're
Let me get my gifts out of the
We're
way.
gonna- We're gonna tap that over. Doesn't stick. You're gonna have to edit that out. I thought that would come in. That's hard as shit. Just lays it over.
It's a hard one.
That's railroad car flooring.
Yeah.
You can't just stab into it. You know how
Yeah,
many
obviously.
bums have tried to stab into that?
Obviously not
Fucking
with.
hobos.
Obviously not. Obviously not with this knife.
Yeah.
That
So
would stick.
I'm gonna. This is probably a little big on the daily carry. I'm gonna see if I can
It's
do
like
a little
good camping
little
backpack
rear
knife.
cross draw. I mean, hit. As we all know, skills are expert level.
Let's see.
Vocals are phenomenal.
That looks like a pretty good box, doesn't it?
Sure does. It's basically like it was nothing.
You did that in complete silence, like
It
a
will
nin-
kill.
like a ninja.
Charles Bronson.
We've
level.
all seen the videos of your strikes. That's what you're gonna bring tonight.
Yeah, basically all the way down to the pommel. Full kill. Next up, it's time for listener questions. We did a social media post today asking for some specific listener questions for today's episode. We've got some gems.
What do you got?
I got some questions from the
Notice
listeners.
you didn't put them on the list, so we couldn't cheat and get them ahead of time.
There was no time to do that. We gave them a 3:00 deadline. So I have got the questions here, right here
The
on
real
my.
answer is that you wanted to stage your answer so you sounded more legit than us.
It's incorrect. I haven't even pre-read. That's a lie. I've pre-read some.
Yeah, you
pre-read
pre-read the
Yeah.
shit out of them.
First up, we're going for Facebook. We got a few questions here.
Facebook, huh?
Yeah. Tim Prevet asked, "What would you guys be doing if you were not in the frame building business?"
Well, we're also in the hot rod building business,
I-
so we'd
yeah.
probably be just
Building hot
building
rods?
hot rods with somebody else's. Maybe.
No, we would have found issues with somebody else's frames, then ended up
And
building
then
our
started
own.
building frames, so we'd still be in the frame
I would-
business, right? Like,
By default, yeah.
yeah. I mean, is that a serious question?
I would guess that he meant if you were not in
Not in the hot rod
industry.
industry
Right,
at all.
Right.
I think it'd have to be something we'd have a passion for. Boats, guns, knives, something along those lines.
Professional
Grilling,
equestrian
smoking.
rider.
Fuck, I'm just gonna get a horrible rap from this fucking
Does
podcast.
anybody make a living doing that?
Hmm.
Is that a thing? That
Yeah, jockeys.
yeah, that's different. Like it's a short career too.
Next question. Oh, you answer.
No. Yeah, I I'd echo what Phil said. I mean, within the marine industry, I like boats. I like creating things. So I think anything that I did would have to be building something, making something, innovating something that's unique, different, exercising my creativity. I think I'd mess around. I'd like to mess around in the marine world.
Mine probably be creative in building stuff, but probably outside, maybe in a landscape or construction or something like that.
Hey, you come over to my house anytime. There's a ton of landscaping needs to be done.
Just a
Why don't
mess
you-
of it.
Why don't you get kind of cut your teeth over there? Show me what you got. Maybe then we could create a career for you.
Yep. Next up, from Spencer Newman.
Spencer.
Yep. Where does Jeremy buy his pants? I'm an equally small statured adult man and am trying to avoid the children's section.
Baby Gap?
Dude, that's interesting because Spencer's probably the only guy that wears tighter pants than me to work every day.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
Maybe he's shopping at Baby Gap and you're at Kids Gap.
that could be. I mean, the dude's got a fucking beautiful physique on him. But where do I buy my pants? I
The pants store.
don't know.
Unfortunately for Spencer, I will tell him that at his size, I don't think there's a choice but to be in the children's section. There's not adult male.
Yeah.
You wouldn't stay in business very long catering to that body type.
I think that's Old Navy. They've got a great
Preteen section.
Children's section,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think they break it down too. It's not just kids, so you don't feel bad.
Right.
You're going to be a little awkward with that mustache, though,
tweener.
in the kids section.
Stay in the tweener section.
I feel like they would absolutely think that's a stick-on mustache at that point. Because who's
That's a
wearing
fake mustache.
Yeah, who's wearing like the tween pants with an actual real mustache?
Yeah.
So there you have it,
All right.
Spencer.
This is from Like 90 Go Fast. So I get the oil part and the necessary qualification. Any qualification required for the whiskey part of the show? I don't know exactly what he's asking.
Good bourbon?
Yeah, I would.
The
But
qualification?
qualification for the whiskey, we will.
Do you mean that we're not qualified,
No,
or what qualifies you?
I
to-
think for the whiskey to be on the podcast,
Oh,
I will answer this as by saying we will try just about everything. And we'll call it like we taste it. We've said when things are bad, and we've said when things are good. I mean, there's really
Yeah,
no
but no
qualification.
scotch. No scotch.
Yeah, no scotch. I can drink some scotch every now and then,
Really?
but not when you're drinking bourbon.
I think our buy it or don't fucking buy it.
It's It's pretty.
That's pretty cut and dry.
That's about
Like
as simple as you can get.
Two passions.
Uh,
Into cars, into bourbon. They just happen to combine.
Yep. It sounds cool. Oil and
Does,
whiskey.
Yeah.
From Crawlstar_wagons. What are your opinions on race car street clones? ? Or at least the paint schemes. Does the Gulf livery look good on everything? My favorites are the Smokies, I guess Smoky Units black and gold, Davy Allison's black and white Haviland T-Bird, and anything competition orange with white numbers. My knife carry is a Milwaukee 4-inch folder in red plastic from Lowe's because I break things. Oh, and Stroker Ace is a great movie and would be a great street clone.
Damn.
Now-
That's my kind of guy.
Question, statement.
I break that down
Things-
for me. That's a lot to.
Circle back to the initial
That's
question.
a lot to digest.
The
and fire
question,
back
the
at.
question part of his comment would be race car liveries, throwbacks. He did mention my favorite, which would be the Davy Allison's black and white Haviland T-Bird. Very first NASCAR to ever have chrome wheels. Davy Allison was a Alabama boy from the Hueytown gang. My favorite race car driver of all time. Killed way too young in a helicopter accident in Talladega. But he was all about style. He wanted to win best car,
So he put
best
chrome
looking
wheels
car
on.
all the time. Had chrome wheels on his white, red, and with a gold stripe. Good looking car. But to this guy's question, the throwback, race car liveries. So, you got the.
I got it. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's
On
that-
most cars.
Yeah, on just about every car or anything with a motor engine on it. we
Yeah.
actually have sitting in our showroom is
Ah.
a little like what is it 10-12 foot hydroplane boat that our dad built as a hobby from scratch, and he asked me to get it painted for him. So what we did is decide that rather than let him put some terrible paint scheme that he would have selected on it,
Yep.
it is now painted in Gulf livery,
It's
and
a
it's
great addition
fucking
to the showroom.
sweet. But yeah, I love that I mean anything that's appropriate, but all that vintage race car stuff just it never dies. I mean, it's got just such a place like the John Player, the black and gold. It's cool on anything.
I mean, I never thought it would work on Phil's Miata, but he's pulled it off. I mean, he's done a whole season and
yeah.
a half with the John
Dude.
Player special livery,
Dude,
and
when you've got 5 degrees camber, like, and you're running that on the street,
because race car.
Yeah. One
that's-
headlight up. Use that as an air scoop.
Yeah.
For the cold air intake kit.
You command.
You know, you've
you
done it.
command.
First of all,
respect.
there's no way you can deny it because you know too much about it.
I've been researching. I
Yeah.
want to sound legit.
So I'm all for the race car livery.
Absolutely. Thumbs up all the
Two
way
thumbs
around.
up. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Good
buddy.
question.
All right. Midwest Metalworks asks, they've got 2 questions. There's a one. When was the last time you built a car or truck for yourself, and what was it?
That's an interesting question. Like a car or truck that actually got finished.
Most of them get
ourselves?
started and then sold to a customer and then finished.
There's one currently in
We
process.
got a couple. We got 2 square bodies. My hammered patinaed square body that we did for kind of the debut on the spec chassis. Then the patinaed Legend Series square body, lifted 4-wheel drive truck. And then we've got a 70 Trans Am in process right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
gonna
we
be a
got-
bad one.
And the Midwest Metalworks, dude. I know him. I follow his account. He's got some really cool stuff. A talented dude. Built some really cool stuff, and that's a great follow to check him out. So I appreciate the question
Yep.
coming from him.
Actually got a even better part 2 to the question.
Yeah.
I really liked this one. If you had to start all over again, but were allowed to take 3 existing pieces of equipment or tools with you, what would they be? Good question.
That is a very good question.
I feel like we're gonna have differing answers because I have to listen to the tools that he's probably going to pick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good question. And it's a cool question because honestly, 2 of those tools would probably be the 2 very first tools that we ever bought as professionals. Polmax and a Proline planishing hammer would be 2 at the top for car building. On the car building side, I feel like the Polmax is just such a versatile tool. If anything, like you should have multiple Polmaxes to save you some time on, it takes a minute to set them up. We were fortunate to have ours outfitted with Clay Cook's variable speed motor and pedal assembly, which makes it a really bitchin' tool. But a Proline hammer, I feel like it's just daily. I mean, that thing runs all day long. It's 15 years old, never missed a beat. Outside of the the metal shaping tools, I'd say probably if I had a lead, I'd take the laser, I'd sell it, and I'd get a smaller laser because from a production manufacturing standpoint and just being able to shave time and be efficient, it's a lifesaver. It's difficult to break it down to 3 tools, because for one, like our CNC department is super.
That's where I'm getting it.
super
You
important.
got to look
to-
at it from you're starting over again from
Yeah.
scratch, but you're starting with 3
Yeah.
of the existing pieces of equipment. It'd be laser,
So I'm gonna
it'd
break
be
it
the
down.
CNC
Yeah.
with the bar feeder.
Right.
I mean, that's
I'm gonna break it down 2 ways. All right. On the hot rod shop side, I'm taking the Polmax and I'm taking the Proline. And the tool I'm not taking is the Bailey mag brake. I'm gonna forfeit the other tool I'm taking and destroy the mag brake, and then move on to the production side. And from like the chassis shop standpoint, lathe and mill, CNC lathe and mill. Everything we've got is Haas equipment, and then a laser. you can instantly be producing and manufacturing quality parts and be able to produce a product line with that equipment that can generate pretty good business pretty quickly if you're sharp, creative, have pretty good vision. So that's where I'm going to break that out two different ways.
Yeah, I'm going production side. CNC lathe with the bar feeder. That's my favorite thing to sit there and watch when there's nobody here on a Sunday and
Yeah, you come here with like a little lawn chair and just sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
cocktail.
He does.
Load up 20, 30 bars and just put the program in, and Bob programs it, walks away, and it's just spitting out parts. You come back on Monday and there's a couple $1,000s worth of parts sitting off a conveyor belt that are ready to go straight into production. So yeah, I think that the laser for sure, that hugely stepped up our game, going from a plasma to a laser. Huge dollar step up as well. So if I could take it with instead of buying it again, 100%.
That's where my mind was going. That and the ferro arm. Your two
Yep.
and the ferro
Yeah, I
arm.
was gonna go with ferro
If you're
arm was
starting from
another
scratch,
another game changer.
miles ahead.
Unfortunately, all three of them take extremely qualified, skilled guys to run it, so it's by no means something that I'm doing.
That's not what is in the question, though.
All right, fine.
Yeah, just pretend like you can. Just be like, yeah, these are the best
Yeah.
ones. I'm going to take these.
So,
Good
yeah,
ones.
yeah, that'd be my three.
All right, those are my three as well. And
the Yoder probably just to look at.
Because you gotta say that you have one.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
It's a status symbol.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what else is coming, but Midwest Metalworks is in the lead right now. That's a really good question.
That's a solid
Something we haven't
question.
been asked before, and it makes you think a little.
Yeah, he's got a great skill set. Worth a follow, and I think it's that's a guy who's got some pretty cool shit that he's building.
What we're
Obviously,
doing,
multi talented, and I think he does a lot with. Is it Fast Freddy's? Fast Freddy's Rod Shop.
he actually tagged Fast Freddy's Rod
Yeah.
Shop in
So,
his
yeah.
comment. We are doing a giveaway. We did a video this morning. We're gonna send some cool shit to somebody's way. Whoever we pick for the best question. We've got a bunch of t-shirts and blankets and bags from Stillhouse. We got some knives from Blade HQ. We've got some Roadster Shop gear.
You just gave away the farm on that, huh?
That one guy gets it all.
The guy that we picked, maybe two. Depends on if we can't decide on one. Yep. So next question from Cadillac Canav 8. Cadillac. I don't know.
It's a silent K, I think.
Cadillac
Innovate.
Cadillac Nav 8.
Okay.
Cadillac Nav 8. Can you rate the Stillhouse Black Whiskey? I think we have, but I don't know if we've actually given it a number. But we've all said we really, really like the Stillhouse Black Bourbon. And if we were to give it a number, just guessing right now, I'm not looking at any other numbers. I'm going to say that thing is an easy, it's between 7 and 7.5.
It's hard to rate it when you're not.
I got to drink it again.
Yeah,
it's a solid pull.
It is.
I don't know that I'd go that high. I think it's a definite buy it
for the dollar figure.
Oh, definite buy it at the price point. I feel like 7.5 is like a pretty.
It's a
rare premium bourbon.
It is for the surprise.
I'm gonna go with
to be continued.
Yeah, the number that just randomly popped in my head was 6.
Means nothing.
But like you said, it means nothing. We're going to circle back, and you're going to remember that silent K. And when we do, we'll reference that.
We will.
When we're drinking it, we'll rate that shit.
We're gonna rate. Well, we've still got our blind.
I'm gonna rate it right now as good. Like it's good.
Oh,
you go get it.
You are a wordsmith.
Go snag some.
It's
good enough. It's good enough to buy it and drink it. I will tell you that.
Next up from Blacktop Car Club. What makes an epic car-related event? How about the top 3 things besides hanging out with cool people? That's a given. What that make you want to go back year after year? Lawn chairs, not allowed.
I'm going to go the atmosphere is probably number 1.
Like the venue? Just where it's at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Columbus coming up this weekend. I think the parking lot at the host hotel is way better than the event, just because you're hanging out with all your buddies, you're seeing people you haven't seen all year. It's
It's like
just
a family reunion every year.
yeah, it's just cool. Everybody's hanging out, their guards down, you're drinking in the parking lot. Um, yeah, that'd be probably my number one.
Yeah, I think that venue has a lot to do with it. The Columbus is, less about the venue, and like you said,
It's the
it's
atmosphere
the
and
family reunion
yeah.
part. It's everybody that
It's
is
that,
somebody's there.
It's the atmosphere. It's knowing who's going to be there. I think
There's a lot of hype leading up to
Yeah.
it that you're bringing your A game, you wanna be the guy. There's a
I-
lot of
I-
prestige.
I wish we could rewind to like Good Guys Indie at the Adams Mark.
Yeah, that was the shit.
That was
That was
like,
a
dude,
different that was a
back
different time.
back in its day, that was, I feel like, the absolute pinnacle of car shows. You're hanging out at first of all, the show was absolutely amazing. I mean, there was like, just the god amongst men. These guys were
Yep.
like the biggest icons, and the cars were just
All the
unbelievable.
old school gassers and drag cars ripping down the strip.
Yeah, you're watching like pure hell
Yeah.
do quarter-mile passes, and then you're seeing Bobby Alloway roll in and like a fucking boss.
Oh
dude.
yeah, and then I mean
20
Troy
speed
and
stars.
Boyd
Yeah.
and that poor horse statue in the
I
Fucking-
forgot
What-
about
what's the
that.
deal with the horse statue?
At the Adams Mark?
Yeah, it's weird. What happened with the horse statue?
It was anatomically correct. I
Yeah, the
believe.
horses
Or anatomically corrected.
have.
It was-
I feel like I fixed it.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you handled it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Took care of it.
Like a horse.
Yeah, just like a horse.
Look
like-
at that.
Yeah. But
Uh,
and then you'd leave, and it was just such a awesome experience driving back to the hotel. You get to the hotel, and it was like, I mean, you felt like you're at like a concert venue. It's like a Motley Crue concert or
Yeah.
something. You had cars doing burnouts. Everyone who was anyone was pulling in. You had, people with their big, like, massive RVs. I remember watching like Tyson fights in the parking lot, and like it was such a badass party. And it
15 years ago, Louisville Street Rod was,
Yeah.
that was that way.
that was the same thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So Indy, I think, was probably the coolest moment in my life when we got off 465 onto that little whatever side highway is to the Adams Mark. I was driving our orange and white C10. You were driving Bruce's Camaro,
Yeah.
and then I think someone else was driving our Chevelle, and we went 3 wide and just drag raced. And you go flying right by the Adams Mark Hotel where everybody was
Oh, yeah.
outside. And then you circle right around and pull into the parking lot. Everybody swarmed the cars, and we were
Yeah.
just fucking ripping, banging off the red limiter as hard as we can go. And you just felt like you were the shit
Right.
going in there.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was
That's, I mean, modern day in the last 5 years, Columbus is really the only
That
thing that's
seats-
even close to that.
C10 must have won it, right?
Yeah.
The C10 ripped, dude.
The thing, nothing sounded better
God
than that
damn.
thing. Good grief.
Yeah, that was just the perfect, like, it had everything going for it.
Yeah.
Your blood would start pumping because you knew when you were getting close to that Adams Mark Hotel, and you just drop it down a gear,
Yeah, it's just
Stand
stand
on
on it.
that was a special place in time that can't be recreated. Columbus is probably the next best thing right now in modern day.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So this is from Kyle Kuhnhausen. What is your absolute favorite one-off muscle car chassis created at Roadster Shop in the last decade? Also, what is one piece of shop equipment on your radar to add to the arsenal?
Oh, Kyle's bringing the heat with that question.
Mhm.
Chassis, I'm going to go probably hands down has got to be the Pantera chassis. Just looking at that is still the coolest looking thing that I think we've ever built.
Yeah.
I was just scrolling through pictures the other day and looking at the CAD photos of it, and you're just like, fuck, that thing's cool.
Yeah, it was more car than chassis.
Yeah.
And it was, but that's
We got one coming. You guys haven't seen it yet. Nobody's seen it yet. Should be at SEMA this year.
yet to be seen, is what you're saying.
I'm going to call it a muscle car chassis, but it breaks. I feel like it breaks the mold. It bridges the gap between hot rod and muscle car, and it brings some powerhouses together. The old Mike and Jim Ring, they're still alive. They have not been. They believe it or not, yeah, they've not been checked into a retirement home yet. Those guys are still going strong.
I like how you started that. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
shockingly.
old Mike
Yeah,
and Jim Ring.
shockingly, still building some awesome stuff. But
Super old.
they've got something
They
coming.
cannot hear this.
No, they're not listening
Because,
to
yeah,
podcasts. They
Yeah,
don't
Mike's
even-
flip phone, you can't even get text messages.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're doing it like a karaoke machine where it just says like the closed caption, like in
You
real
think so?
big letters underneath. Mike and Jim, you are old.
Dude, you can't get this on a Walkman.
So they've got something special. Don't give it away. Don't get.
They've got something
don't
that's
give it away.
it's over the top. Put a lot of work into the performance, the geometry, and the functionality of it. I think it parallels the style and the sex of the chassis, and what the rings have done with it is really, really something. And it's kind of got a high boy look to it. So the chassis is a bit of a feature of what the car is, and it's really bitching. I mean that's a super killer chassis, and the rings have done it justice. I'm excited for that because I know that's the car to see at SEMA this year. So
So we're not entering Battle of the Builders. this
whoever's
year.
bringing something to SEMA this year,
Yours is
you're in trouble.
I'm going
the
Pantera.
Pantera. Yours is Ring Brothers' newest creation coming out at SEMA this year. Mine's going to have to be Rampage. It was built with a purpose. It did that purpose. It looked amazing. No fluff. Just my pick. I don't have to give any reason. That's why.
That's good.
What is your one piece of What is your one piece of shop equipment on the radar that you would like to add to the arsenal?
Continuum transfunctioner.
Yeah.
Don't know what that is.
Yep.
Those things are moving some metal these days.
It's from Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what it isn't. It's a mag brake. So that's one thing that I'm not.
From who?
A Bailey mag brake is something I'm definitely not gonna.
Why not?
That's rubbed you the wrong way recently, huh?
Yeah, for like forever.
But can it break metal?
Yeah,
Thin metal.
if you've got a good Bessie sliding C clamp, you can clamp that sucker down and bend anything you want if you have tremendous amount of upper body strength.
So a little less mag,
But
a little more
Kuhnhaus-
break.
Yeah, Kyle he's pretty physically fit. We've taught quite a bit at SEMA. I think he can handle that. But yeah, as far as equipment to add, I mean, I think we've done such a good job of staying on top of the equipment that we need and whatever's on the cutting edge. So there's a few things at this point.
5-axis CNC.
I've got one.
What do you got? Josh is fucking, he's like a little kid there with the answer.
I
So
do.
Ooh,
I've
I
got-
know what it's going to be.
Do you?
Yeah.
How-
Do we look at it at SEMA every year?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, a
great.
fucking him saw.
Here we
Just so
go.
I don't have to hear about
Yeah.
it ever again. And I'm gonna put it into production, just cutting out little discs to re-weld into the chassis. Look at this him saw. Look how it's productive.
I wonder if I could weld those onto your face. Like just those slim little.
Ooh,
The
you know what I
inside
wanna
joke
get?
is every single year we hear about, it doesn't matter what problem we need to solve. It is maybe we should buy a him saw because Jeremy really
just
wants
want
a
one.
him
It's
saw.
like $2,500.
I
You just
know,
gotta
just buy it.
I was thinking either that or from doing the car show circuit nonstop. I want to get whatever that drill attachment is that you can cut out license plates into maps
it's
of the
a-
United States.
Isn't that Bad Dog? Is it Bad
Bad-
Dog?
No,
big
it's
dog.
that-
Big dog bits suck.
I thought it was that. And you put it into your Makita corded drill. And it's like a nibbler.
Yeah. So
that's-
that
yeah.
or the shop light that you could just drop nonstop.
No, I mean honestly,
you
I think
you haven't been to as many car shows as me and Josh
I've seen that one.
that just nonstop the dude throwing it on the ground right next to you.
Look
and
at
you just
that.
Constantly look over.
Still works.
Yeah, it's like 3,000 times a day.
I think at this stage, I mean, we're pretty well equipped as far as machinery goes. I'd like to, I'd love to have a tube laser, a dedicated tube laser, but it's a massive piece of equipment. if I had my choice on a piece of equipment that was more of a novelty that would still produce, profit for the company and speed speed things along, and I think it would more better the car build side, but I'd love to have like a multi-axis foam mill,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
something that you could take, a concept, something you could surface and build like really cool panels and go directly, into a mold, skip a plug part and go right into a mold and be into a fiberglass or carbon part. And yeah, I think that would speed the process of the hot rod shop up. You could open things up like whether it's a bumper, of body modifications, a whole damn body. I mean, you could do an awful lot with a piece of equipment like that. So, I mean, massive investment. I follow those dudes. Is it ADV?
Yeah, they're
ADV
doing a
fiberglass.
ton of the new Bronco stuff. They're killing
Yeah.
it, but
So
yeah,
until
just
until
machine a whole fender hood front clip. It's
yeah, until then, I think we'll reach out to them if we need anything. But those guys are making some awesome shit. I
Yeah.
mean, you look at what they're producing, and it's so bitchin', and that's it's really cool. That would be the piece of equipment for me. That would be something I'd have my eye on.
keep chasing technology, see what's coming out new that you can make production parts with. I agree.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
good.
mean, the Gator Grip socket got a lot. It's that
Great for stealing street signs.
yeah, that thing. That was a great investment. But now that I have it, I'm ready to move past it and look at some other investments. So
Good
Did
question.
they do
there
a
from-
metric version of that?
It's Gator Grip.
I think so. I
metric
think
or
it's got
standard?
yeah. I think it's
Okay.
got smaller little
Tines.
needles within it.
Great question there from Kyle Kuhnhausen. All right. Next up. This one, I don't even understand. So this is for Deviant_Apollo. Can you tell us more about the spec Nova 68 to 74 chassis?
Is Phil gonna answer this? Or
I don't know
I
if
feel like
there's any-
Josh can answer this
there-
with one sound effect.
What would that be?
That's all you needed.
Right.
I just saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
When you did that,
Yeah,
I literally.
the best way I can answer that is stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yep.
Think so? There's a bit of a divide between this half of the table and this half of the table
Yeah.
on the
Cool?
Not cool. Yeah. Like really fucking cool. Not that cool.
Miata? Second gen Nova.
I think that's considered a third gen Nova, isn't it?
Is that what they call it?
You fuckers don't even know.
All right. So here's
It's like 62 to 65 is
It's-
first gen, 66,
Oh, those are
67
both the
second
same.
gen.
Those are both first,
Look,
right?
I put them right.
to
I-
not Nova people,
Uh,
yeah.
Those Novas and the Duster, like a 70 Duster. I mean, what's more badass than that if you do it right? As far as like a Street Fighter, just
What? Sorry.
fucking ass kicker, huge stall converter with a fucking turbo 400s, nasty ass big block.
We will
Just
be
in a carport with
Yeah.
a fucking chain hoist pulling the motor.
Yeah, the kids are going hungry.
two
Yeah.
things are happening. Well,
What's
I'm
that?
sorry, three. Two are combined. The Nova's getting built, and I'm unemployed. Number two, we're not going to build the Nova, but we're going to fuck with the Nova enough when Phil's out of town and just put it in his driveway and pull the motor out of it.
We've talked about that because we actually possess a 69 Nova.
Yeah, the baddest one ever.
It is, and it is just waiting its
Mm.
turn.
We keep talking
But
about it. If it was
every
easier
time-
to get to the last 3 or 4 times you were out of town, it would be in your front
Or
yard
if you
with
would
no
have
motor
some,
in
yeah,
it.
if you would have some goddamn mature trees in your front lawn, because there's nothing to hang the motor from. We talk about it legitimately every time you go out of town, and like honestly, we feel like the clap back from your wife would be too overwhelming.
Jeremy almost cut his
Eh,
trip
that we
back
don't wanna
short
do-
last
that we
this
don't
last
wanna deal with
weekend
it.
so we could get it in your front yard.
So there's something about a Nova that belongs, according to Phil anyway,
Yeah.
belongs in a front yard.
Phil's highbrow. He looks down on the third gens. It's going to happen though.
Show me all the badass 3rd gen Novas that have been built.
Dude, just wait.
Name 2.
Yep.
Show me all the badass 71 Mustangs been built.
So
What
you guys are
how'd
wrong
that turn
twice.
on me? All right. Next up.
Whole thing
I
is
don't.
gonna
I
have to
feel
be
like we
edited
didn't.
out.
I feel like we didn't answer that question.
We should probably
Honestly,
read it again. Read it again. Let's answer it again.
68
be-
to 74.
To be completely honest with you, we have a very clean Survivor.
Said to be continued.
Yeah, we've
Stay
had
tuned.
we've had some discussions about developing that chassis platform. We have an awesome spec early Nova platform that's coming out. It's available right now. We spent a tremendous amount of time developing the entire front clip, structural aprons, core supports, radiators, carbon inner fenders. It's a fantastic complete bolt-on for those cars.
Anywhere from
Obviously-
64 to 67 we have
Correct.
right now.
62
62.
and a half.
Obviously, when you jump into that next generation, it's a completely different chassis platform. If we had the
So the spec chassis take an insane amount of engineering time and built in way they get built. They need to be cars that have a high volume of sales in order to justify that time. Looking at all of our fast track Revo sales on the 68 to 72 Novas, is that the
74.
74? It's not there to justify it yet.
So we definitely need to do it.
So let's get those numbers up,
Yeah.
Yep.
guys. If you're
start
listening,
ordering them, start
I-
calling.
Dude,
If
I
you
have
can twist
all-
my arm, then we'll do it.
I
You-
happen to love them, but as of right now, I hate to admit it, but the volume.
That's bullshit.
Oh, this is
It's-
recorded.
You've
It's
always
just
said.
not
You've
there.
always said.
Yeah.
Don't wait on the market. Create the market. What creates the market? The blue Nova. Oh, it's going to be
Just-
built.
I'm just trying to tell him.
Hey, are we going to build it? All right, cool.
The emptiest of empty threats.
Did you get that 632 from Andrew?
I'm still waiting on Jason. Jason at Gandred is
Sucks.
yeah.
Jason
He's-
Gander is on my payroll.
He is.
Empty promises.
He has let us down. Probably for the last time. We're going to see him probably in the next couple of days. I'm going to let him know. Next up for Phil, random 1-3. What's the better engine for my Miata? Gallo 12 or 24?
I have no idea what either one of those are.
That's a
I'd
lie.
LS swap it.
I definitely don't know what it is.
I would LS swap it.
LS swap it. Random 1-3. Or how about this? Don't race a fucking Miata. That's what we tell Phil every weekend.
You don't have to go out and do sports car shit.
Yeah. Oh, Phil, you want to go hang out? Oh, no, your race car. Yeah, right. The parking lot. Super fast. 66 underscore.
How's your square body coming?
That's not funny. That's mean. 66 underscore customs NJ.
Okay.
I know starting a business is a huge investment in all areas, but most importantly, to myself, it's a huge investment in time. How did you guys manage to get your family on board, understanding the bigger picture as far as explaining to the kids why you haven't been around, the constant calls to the wife saying it's going to be another very late night, and then having them believe in the vision when the funds are just not necessarily there yet, but you know personally everything you're working for is coming? That's probably one of the best questions of the
Yeah.
night.
That's a great question. That's a lot to unpack.
It's
You
don't
gotta
think-
start before you have the family, so then they know what they're getting into. It's a lot easier to justify it that way.
that's a much more politically correct
That's
and
what we
nicer
did.
sounding. No, I'm saying it's a way better way of saying start them off with extremely low expectations. And that's I 100%, no joking aside, honestly cannot answer this question the greatest because I don't have the best advice. I know I did it very poorly. I did it.
I think we all did.
Yeah, there's no good way. It's a
We-
insane
I think-
labor of love, and you have to.
I don't think we did anything the right way. We were lucky enough to have the women stand beside us and not
That's a-
give up.
That's a good answer. I second that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we
I
didn't
think-
do anything right.
I think you need to. I mean, the only way to do it is the wrong way, and then in the end, if you have the right woman, it pays off. But it's a massive sacrifice. I mean,
There's no greater
it's
sacrifice. We talk about this all the time. This is the first time it's
yeah,
actually been
it's absolutely. I
delved
mean,
off into.
it's career first. I mean, I cut. Uh, I'm fortunate to have reconnected with some friends. Some very good friends uh, that I grew up with. But for me, and I think for you as well. I mean, I think you just like you sever ties with
It's
everybody and everything, and it was the only thing is work, and it's work, 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 and it's 7 days a week, and you know you go in, you just absolutely commit yourself, and you think about nothing else, like legitimately,
I,
but work.
it's
And
it's
go 100% put in the work now, sacrifice everything to get the reward later.
that's
well,
it. That's
That's
100% what it is. That's the way that I think our dad did it. We grew up in the same situation. Our dad, you don't have those lovey-dovey memories of an early childhood of doing dad things, because dad was off working his fucking ass off,
making it happen.
making it fucking happen. But you have to have the trade-off, because it's never going to be like, I'm not going to enjoy the infant years, the toddler years, the adolescent years, and the teenage years, and then be right there by their side when they're a young adult. You have to there's something has to fucking give. So if you're going to forfeit one of those, honestly, yeah, forfeit the early years and work your fucking ass off,
to get to the
because
point where you can be around as fast as
yeah,
you possibly can.
you can't make up for, like, when when your kids are a teenager, or when your kids are 10 years old, and you're at that stage of a marriage. You're never going to be able to make that work. It's just not going to fucking happen. So if if you're trying to get into it at that stage in your life, it's going to be very difficult. But something's going to give, something's you're going to forfeit something. So you have to dive into it, and that's the only thing that you can focus on. And it sounds terrible, but
Oh, it is terrible. You have, but like
that's
you said, you got to start early. You've got to have those honest conversations at the very beginning, whether it's dating or when you first get married or whatever. Uh, my daughter is turning 18 tomorrow, which would be Thursday, right? I have missed every single one of her birthdays since she was born because of Columbus. I've always been gone, right? So this year at Columbus, Maddox is coming along. She's coming to hang out at Columbus. She's going to do the whole thing. She's turning 18. Before she goes off to college, she's going to do the car show thing. We're going to have some fun together. Same thing with my wife. Her birthday is the weekend or the week of SEMA every single year. So since we've been married, I've missed her birthday every single year that we've been married, minus the year that COVID canceled SEMA. You have to get to a certain point when it's time to not be selfish, to not be selfish.
yes.
You're asking a lot of them, and that's your wife, your significant other, your girlfriend, your family members, to stand by your side to you to get to a certain point. However, once you get to that certain point, and it's a slow fade, it's not like a switch, it's not like overnight. When you can take those opportunities, take those opportunities. Don't be selfish. Give them the time when you can give them, as they've given you the time when they can give you. It's it's very easy for us to say this is what we know. This is the only reason we've gotten to where we've gotten. But once you get to a certain point and things start to slow down, you've got the team in place. You've got people that are doing the things that they need to do to allow you. It's very easy the first weekend or the second weekend or
Oh
the
yeah.
first year that you have to do some things for yourself because you've sacrificed as well. But
If you think
do the
that
things for them.
if you think that there's going to be a work life balance in creating the
Yeah,
business
no.
and getting the business to the point where it's profitable, you can don't even attempt it. Stop right now and just get a really good job. And there's nothing wrong with that. Get a really good job, but it absolutely takes
To be successful.
to be successful, you've got to be willing to make massive sacrifices.
And
And
get
we've
creative. Get
it-
creative. There's
to
sometimes
bring-
it's been a Sunday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon that it's like, hey, you want to go do something for 2 hours? Because it's the only time we've got. I mean, I'm speaking frankly because we've been through it, you know?
I would say to not leave your son out, like you sacrificed a whole bunch so he could have relatively mediocre size arms and not be that strong.
oh shit!
The fucking thing just broke.
What are you doing over there?
I leaned back. The well,
Just wanted to get my shot in.
yeah, Blaze has been here working. He's gotten the shit. Like I said something to him today about when's the last time he's been in the gym, and that's I think Bob and John both said the first thing he walked in. Hey, dude, what's happening with your arms? So he's probably jonesing to get to the gym now. But
it all pays off in the end. Put the work in, do what you got to do, take your licks, put your time in,
you got to give back when it's time to give
yeah,
back.
and when it's time to give back, give back. Yeah, like you said. And right now, like we've been doing it. We've been crushing it, working our asses off for 20 years at this point. And at this point, like my son is my biggest fan. The kid absolutely loves the Roadster shop, and I get a lot more opportunities to spend time with him at this point. And he's 11 years old, and I think at that point they're like little fucking aliens. When they're little, he's like, what the fuck are you gonna do with them? So when they're a little older, you can do some shit with them. I'm the absolute wrong person to take advice from.
No, you
When
said
it
we've all
comes
said the
to
same
that
exact thing. When it
d-
gets to a certain
department. But-
point and when you're able to,
But
you've got to do it.
what I will say is I do know I know how to put the fucking work in, and I know how to make it happen, and that's just what it takes. So
But you would not be still married with the relationship that you have if it wouldn't be for the woman that was behind you. I wouldn't be where I'm at. Same thing with you. This
gonna
weekend's a
go-
perfect example. It's you're able to go and do something with your son that's important to him because of the hard work that's been put in for the 20 plus years.
I think that's a very good example because you see the same with like it's funny seeing it over the past couple of years. I remember like not seeing Troy, from Rad Rides, show up at Columbus, and you're like, "Where the fuck's Troy at?"
Son's
Like,
playing ball.
yeah, and you're like, "What do you mean?" We're all fucking working our asses off.
Didn't
Kid's
get it.
playing, but he's not coming to. Are you serious? And now you realize, after you've put the work in, you realize you've done it. You're there.
But it's unfortunate you
And-
can't do that until the team is in place.
Yeah.
You really can't.
You've got to have the right. You have the right people. You got to establish the right team. You got to build the brand. You got to. Yeah,
And then
Takes a
as
lot of
that
work.
team grows, you've got to give those team members those same opportunities.
yes.
Yeah.
But it comes the same way. Those team members need to make not to the level that you do, but they need to make some sacrifices to get to a certain level.
Right.
And then it all pays off in the end. You've just got to have some staying power. You've got to stick with it.
Yeah, nothing happens instantly. It's not overnight. You're not going to go to the gym for, a week and all of a sudden be massive and ripped. It's
You're telling me.
Yeah.
Telling me, bro.
Hey, you don't have to tell either of us. We've been going to the gym for a long time. It takes years.
I was going to go with everything. It's
No, he's right.
in
It's-
business. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to decide to build an incredible car and just do it. You're not going to decide to be an incredible baseball player and just do it. You're not going to decide to go get ripped and just do it. It's just the constant. You got to build, and put in the work to make it happen. Put in all the sacrifices.
Yep.
It doesn't come easy. And then you get to the point where you're finally able to take a little bit of a break and
No, I
live life.
not to be sappy, but
Oh,
the
dropped
Just
your
crashed
H2.
your
H3.
fucking Hummer.
I don't think any of these shops or builders or shop owners or cars would be where they are if it wasn't for the women and family behind the scenes that are holding the shit down. I mean, that's the unsung heroes. I think we've talked
Yep.
about a couple of times. That could be a whole entire episode on that in and of itself, and it sucks. I mean,
Yeah, my dad couldn't build the business without our mom being there, taking us to everything that we did
Right.
growing up and raising us. And same thing with me. I couldn't raise the kids and build the business. So it's, you got to have, one hand taking care of one thing while the other hand takes care of the other. It's necessary to grow it.
well, we got I think we're tied. Midwest.
Those were two. Yeah, those are two good ones.
Midwest Metalworks and 66 Customs.
He had some
in New
Midwest
Jersey.
hit some pretty technical ones.
We might have to split that up. If your shop, this is from 68F Bod. If your shop could choose one movie car to work on, what would it be?
General Lee.
2-lane blacktop 55.
Don't act like you're not saying the General Lee.
Movie car is what throws me. Because I was more of a TV show car guy. I was gonna say Fall Guy, but it's not a movie.
General Lee was also in a movie
The 2-lane blacktop car was like legit.
with Jessica Simpson.
That was a real deal. Fucking hot rod.
Yeah, but what would you do to it?
I'd fucking change the plugs or something. Like put some jets in the car.
Just the timing.
Build the headers.
Yep.
396.
454.
You build the headers.
Yep. It's about that.
That was the dialogue of the entire movie.
No, it was 396, 454. No shit.
Plymouth had a Hemi with a torque flight.
Either the Bandit Trans Am, just because of the movie and how crazy that was, or anything from Cannonball Run. I'm just a Cannonball Run fan.
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run
Cannonball coming.
Cannonball Run had a fucking Countach in it, right?
had a Countach, had a van
So
in it, had a dually.
You're gonna
crew
stand
cab.
there. You're gonna stand there, and you're gonna tell me that you're gonna take a fucking Trans Am over a Countach.
Probably. Yeah. First of all, neither one of us know how to work on a Countach.
It can't
True.
be that complicated.
I forget about the working on part.
Yeah,
there's so many pieces.
Owning it would be one thing. Working on it,
Yeah,
completely
fuck
different.
that.
Yeah.
Trans Am for sure.
Next up, Jeremy Kroll 18. If you were building a 40/41 Willis Coupe, would you do it lowered or gasser style?
Stonewoods and Cook Gasser.
Absolutely.
Dude,
No questions
I
asked.
would do a fiberglass outlaw body, and I would paint it Tangelo orange with a
Two-toned with
big ass
Intros on it.
pair of fucking Colorado Customs.
Ooh.
I would
two-toned
I was
with
gonna
barbed
go-
wire.
I was going to
with
go
barbed wire
intro
splitting it.
Twisted Vistas.
Oh, good call. But I'm thinking like a light tan ostrich
Yeah, ostrich for
interior
sure.
with a teased seat. You with me? You
Oh,
still
I know
with
what
me?
you're talking about. Yeah, I just wouldn't build that. Um, I think
What?
that the only
That's a Tuneport 502.
the only
Watson's
Chrome
taillights.
the only lowered Street Machine Willis.
Don't
Two.
say,
It's a
don't- hey,
Willys.
stop it right now.
Yeah.
It's Willis.
It's
Don't ever-
Willys.
You just tried to say that. You tried
Yeah,
to
you
say
sound
that like it was
educated.
something.
That's the way it is in the South.
Don't ever
Willis.
say that. No,
Go back to the
it's
South.
never a Willis.
It's Willie apostrophe S.
Oh,
That's
Y
Willis.
makes a Y sound in America.
Say Y.
Will
and
Wise.
Willie.
Will Wise. So Will Wise.
Willie.
Willwood.
Yeah.
Will-
Have you
Will
ever met a guy
Wise.
named Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a fucking Willie. Willies. You got it?
I did.
Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah.
So Willie's Willis.
Yes.
So if Willie
Willis.
owned a Willis,
Willis.
Willis.
Willis
Willis
on the
Johnson.
Yeah.
Willis.
It's not what you talking about, Willis. It's a Willie's.
That gasser style.
It's a gas.
Right.
Dude,
Yeah.
100%. You never. The
I
only
know
guy
where
that's
you-
ever pulled it off.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
that's where he
two.
was going.
There's two.
There's two. I know one.
I thought that RPMs was pretty cool back in the day,
yes.
Yeah.
but
that
Kyle at
for
Detroit Speed.
for the time and it and still today, it's pretty rad. That was, that one stands kind of on its own, but Detroit Speed did a good
Yeah,
job
that
of,
thing was badass.
yeah, Kyle did a good
It
job
had
of,
it had a subterranean ride height.
but he's got it, it had all the cool gasser things. It just had the right hot rod stance.
Yeah.
But what's more badass than a fucking
Willis.
Willys sitting, in the nosebleed section? So
Yeah.
fucking bitching.
Stonewoods and
Yeah.
Cook, that
You ever seen the movie?
turquoise blue, that was the coolest car I think ever.
And if you've ever seen the made-for-TV movie from the 70s called Hot Rod, have you ever
Mhm.
seen that?
Yep.
Is that with Andy Samberg?
No. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, with my cousin Vicky was in it. The little robot girl. Right?
That's Small Wonder.
Dude, it was
Small
no,
Wonder.
No, it was with
My cousin
Yeah.
Vinny, not Vicky.
Vicky.
Her name was Vicky.
Vicky.
Yeah, she wasn't my cousin,
my
though.
cousin.
She
Yeah.
was just
Small
Vicky,
Wonder.
dude. It's like,
Oh fuck.
oh my god.
Yeah, that movie.
Google it. So it was with the Munn's root beer. Anybody
Oh,
like you
yeah, yeah,
guys
yeah.
aren't like you
Oh,
know,
no, you're
yeah, you're
hardcore.
not like a real
Right, yeah,
hot rod fan.
super
You're just kind of
hardcore.
like
Yeah.
you're over there with your
Kind of a big deal over here.
Magpul shirt on. And
Right. Yeah, super cool.
in your face, whatever's going on with the face thing. No, but honestly, the that hot rod movie, Google it, jump on YouTube, look it up. That was like the epitome of a gasser Willys. Dude put it together. It was like a barn find, built it up, and it embraces everything that is sick about a 41 Willys gasser. So
To check that out.
yeah.
Will you? This is from K Spolk 77. Will you be at the Louisville Street Rod Nationals this year?
Will you?
Yes.
Yes. Exclamation point. Yes.
Yes.
You know what you should check out while you're down there.
Oh no. Wait.
You sure?
Yeah, we got to
I get a little early plug. North
Okay.
of Bourbon.
check
in
out North of
Germantown,
Bourbon.
Louisville.
If you're making plan, if you're going to be in Louisville for the weekend, we've got an episode coming before that. It's going to tell you all about it. But
Some of the best cocktails I've ever had.
some of the best cocktails, some of the best food, some of the best everything that we've ever put in our mouth from North of Bourbon. Actually stopped by there on the way back from Alabama.
Did you?
No, I didn't. Time was all fucked up. We were going to.
You said enough throne of lies.
Oh, I was going to. I said I didn't. Told you the
No,
truth.
you said you did.
Yeah, and then I
Started- you
changed it.
started with.
Oh, changed it.
That was terrible.
How often are you guys? This is from Andy_SP8. Andy Spate. Andy_Spate. How often are you guys approached about building these crazy far out builds for clients? To date, how many chassis have you guys manufactured? Maybe give us your opinion on some of the worst builds and best builds you've seen in the industry by you or others. That's 3 questions in one.
That's a whole episode right there.
It is. How often are you guys approached about building these crazy far out builds
That's
for
like
clients?
32 questions. Far out. What do you consider a far
I don't.
out?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We're approached about building builds.
I don't
Daily?
consider.
Yeah.
Consider any of
Hourly?
them far out builds. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's some far out builds.
the only far out builds are the ones that Phil throws out there when it's the guy who wants like the what is it? It's like a G8 that he wants to turn it into a 2-door but make it like rear wheel drive.
Yeah, you're not converting anything that's front wheel drive to rear wheel drive. Let's
Yes.
just clear that out right now.
For the entire
Josh, your PT Cruiser is not going to be rear wheel drive with a V8 Hemi in
Yeah.
it.
Dude, it's
Sorry.
already
See.
cool enough that you converted it to a sedan delivery. All right,
Yeah,
that's pretty badass.
You've wrapped the
So
back
just-
windows. It looks legit.
Y'all are
just-
you're grasping
just
at
leave it
straws,
at-
trying to
just
find
leave it at
something that'll
that.
stick. The Hummer didn't stick. The PT Cruiser
It's
won't
got a
stick
magnet
either.
on it. It will obviously stick.
It doesn't stick to this.
That's aluminum.
Yeah, you have a car collection. No, the far out builds and all that. Like honestly, the crazy off the wall shit. Anything that's unibody that is 1995 or newer, it's just off the fucking wall.
We're not going to build it.
And anybody that wants to convert something from front wheel drive to rear wheel drive or take their modern car and convert it to an EV. It's just not.
So
happening.
if the question is about far out crazy wild builds that we don't build, how often are we approached?
That's
all the
5
time.
times a
Yes.
week.
Yeah, that's all the time. Let's see. To date, how many chassis have you guys manufactured? That'd be a big
Lot.
number.
Yep.
Several.
All of the ones that we've built, we have manufactured.
I guess that all depends on like how you're going to deliver that information.
You want to give like 67,000.9?
Yeah, I mean it's like 42,000 a week, so
It's been a lot.
yeah, it's been a lot. Yeah, I don't know if we could throw it. You think you could quickly arrive at a number on that?
No, not off the cuff.
I mean, rough numbers shooting from the hip, 5,000.
I'm gonna go significantly north of that, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so edit all that out. So if we're gonna throw a number
Between 5 and 10, somewhere in there.
between 5 and 10,
Fairly accurate. Quite a broad spectrum, but
it's just
there's no way of knowing.
No, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Not
We
right,
just-
not right now while we're drunk.
Yeah,
I mean, it's limitless.
right.
We've built a shit ton.
Oh, it's a wind up.
Yeah, that's why I got it. Well, no, I got it because it was an H3 and it was yellow.
Don't fucking fuck with it. All right. Don't wreck it. This is gonna end poorly.
No, it's not.
You got to drag them
Yeah.
back till they click.
Yeah.
No, that's like pumping. You
Nope.
fucked it up. That's
Nope.
pumping a BB gum over
Shut
11,
your
over
face.
10 times.
Do it. Do it. Do it. And that's why the H3 sucks. It works for you, Josh.
Last question. Oh,
2
we
sunroofs.
just fucking busted the sunroof out.
I just fucked this up.
Yeah, look at the sunroof. Basically, like I drove it
That's a
downtown.
strike.
It got
Dude,
fucking carjacked.
That's a strike. That's a pretty good strike.
That was fucking bullshit. Last question. Now, next up from Bryant ZPUC, looking to order a spec chassis for my 68 Fastback in the next week or two. Do you guys provide wheel and tire specs for fitment, back spacing, and tire size?
We can give you recommendations on some cars that we have scanned and that we have built. We can certainly give you recommendations on cars we have built and put wheels under. I think we would love to be able to give you a definite answer. I know it would make life a lot easier for a lot of people, but all these cars do vary pretty drastically. Aftermarket panels versus original panels, how those panels were put on. We've found insane differences in cars differing 1 inch side to side on the exact same car with original OEM panels, just how they're put on the factory, how they've settled over the years. So while we would love to make your life a lot easier and give you a specific number, we can give you a range, but we definitely recommend put the body on the chassis, measure your backspace, and confirm that it fits your car before ordering.
Most of the time on most of the chassis, we can get you really, really damn close. But as we all know, like building these cars, trying to maximize the fitment, the last quarter to an eighth of an inch fucking means a lot in the overall look. And if you're trying to maximize that fitment, the best way to fucking do that is fully mocked up with the chassis under it at ride height with everything in it and measure specific to yours. Because a quarter inch difference, I mean, honestly, we've all been to the shows and see those differences. A quarter inch is a fucking mile
It
on
can make
backspace.
it can make or break it. But talk to the sales team.
How much is tire diameter on the front end?
Tire
hurts
so
or
the
helps as
the
well?
front is huge because tire diameter, when it comes to turning radius, you're already fighting a wheel opening that was never engineered for the ride height, the lowered ride height that
That we build stuff
that
to.
we build stuff to. So as you increase the tire diameter based upon what we design it for a 25.2-inch tire versus a 26-inch tire, you would be absolutely shocked at what it can do for turning radius. Some cars are forgiving. Some cars, a growth in a half-inch of tire diameter can limit it turning radius by 10 degrees. So it's a bit of an art form. The sales team can steer you in the right direction, get you very close to a a proper wheel back space, but we do always encourage to measure it for you know yourself. But I'll say with a when you look at like a spec Camaro platform, you look at a spec Mustang platform, we can provide you with a very safe measurement. However, I don't think we encourage the safe measurement because if it's something we build in house, we want them
Maximized.
We're
maximized.
splitting hairs on trying to get that tire as close to the fender or quarter as possible. And if your factory quarter has got a half-inch wider lip than the car that we did, or we trimmed the lip, we cut out the outer wheelhouse to get the tire further out. There's a lot of variables involved. So got to measure your car. We can get you close and help you, but you need to confirm on your build.
And that's the honest answer. So if you're like leveraging your purchasing decision based on whether you can get a wheel backspace dimension, you just got the honest answer right here. So if said vendor is going to supply you with a 4.25 wheel backspace, I'm telling you from experience, Phil and Josh are telling you from experience, we've built more cars than probably
Any
of
chassis
these
manufacturer
chassis
by far.
manufacturers out there. So we encourage a final check and measuring it yourself. Wheels are a costly investment.
Yeah, if you're getting
You wanna
a
get it right.
high-end wheel like a Forge Line wheel, you're dropping $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. You don't want to go through the effort of rehooping them or them flat out not fitting or limiting your turning radius. So measure twice,
But-
order wheels once.
There's a lot of tips and tricks. There's some things you can trim here, some outer wheelhouses that we encourage doing this to, some front wheel openings we encourage doing this to. So talk to the RS sales team, very knowledgeable guys, and they will work with you through that whole process.
And that does it for listener questions.
Yeah, buddy.
Do you think we should pick a winner right now?
Mhm.
Question mark?
I think we could arrive at a winner. I think we should arrive at 2 winners because
Yeah, I'm
throwing
going.
all that at one guy,
Yeah.
it's a lot of merchandise. But there were some good questions in there.
What sticks out to you right now?
Going the Midwest guy.
Yep.
And then forgot who it was, but
66 Customs about the family.
yeah,
I agree with you.
two
think-
very key topics
I
in
think
the industry that I think a ton of people have questions about. Hopefully we shed a little bit of light. By no means the answers.
I don't think we
to go
gave
by,
the
but-
answer that everybody wanted to hear.
No.
As far as
We said it honest.
Yeah.
We're not the guys to ask. We did it fucking wrong.
Yeah.
If you ask our wives, they'd tell you how wrong we did it. But as far as the winners of the swag, who cares about if it's too much swag? We'll double up the swag that we've got.
the Midwest Metalworks, I thought that was a very
Midwest
good, those are
Metalworks.
good questions.
And the 66_Customs New Jersey. I assume it's New Jersey. It's NJ.
Winners of the swag.
2 winners. If you're listening right now, you've probably already got stuff headed your way. We'll reach out on Instagram and get your addresses so we can send them your way.
Keep firing those listener
Keep
questions.
firing this. That's the kind of stuff we want, the stuff we've got to actually think about. We probably should start doing them a little earlier in the podcast before we start drinking so we can actually start using our brains. And you can stop fucking up my Hummer because look
You
at the camber
fucking
on that.
Ruined that thing.
It's fucking destroyed. Why can't I? Nobody can have nice things.
Take a
You
look at
can't have nice things.
Hey, fire that thing up, dude. We have an aerial camera, and look at that strike. You see that?
Oh, I don't think anybody can see that.
Yeah, you can
Now
see
you
the
can see it.
shattered fucking sunroof.
Yeah, but who?
I rained down one
Get a
hammer
side
strike.
profile to see. You fucked up the rear
Yeah.
suspension.
yeah, I
on that
know.
thing.
Look at the.
One hammer strike with this Benchmade knife.
Look at how it sits.
Right. Well, obviously, it put
Got
a
a
little.
gangster lean
Yeah,
to
it
it
put a
now.
little. It put a little more camber in it when I came down on it like that. A lot of force, dude.
Not nice.
A lot of
Honestly,
force.
it's not nice. Really enjoyed listener questions. Really enjoyed
Listener
Jeremy
questions. Listener questions are always fun.
from Ironclad.
I think the Jeremy from Ironclad one is an interesting one. I mean, I think
I think it was a really good one.
It's a really good one, Josh. Yes, it is. But it's not really right there in the wheelhouse of the hot rod industry. But what it is a super successful young guy that created an awesome business, and I think it's very applicable to the hot rod industry. They're kind of like parallel businesses when you start thinking about
Building
he did.
creative products for a customer.
and how he did it. And I'd encourage everybody to really
Perseverance is
listen
perseverance.
to what he's got to say.
Sticking it out is sticking it out. Success is success. It doesn't. I mean, regardless. I mean, it's if you're wanting to put out a good product and impress your customer, it doesn't matter the industry that you're in. But
Tonight, if there's anything to take away from tonight, it's a turning point of me with Vienna sausages.
oh,
Because they're
they're right here on the table.
honestly pretty fucking good.
How about this?
You guys can each get like 1,430 of them.
mark it down right now. Every single episode we do, that's our snack.
Vienna sausages.
Yep. So joke's on you, James. Guess what? You just provided us with a nice and tasty snack for the next 600 episodes.
6,000 episodes.
Yeah. So, thanks again for listening to Oil and Whiskey, an Ironclad original. If you want to leave us a review, leave us a rating, go ahead. Hop down there at the bottom and do it. If you don't, I guess don't.
Yeah.
If you like it, let us know.
Subscribe.
Download us wherever you get your
Tell
podcast.
your friends.
Tell us your friends. If you want us to send,
Don't tell us your friends. We have
tell your
no
friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends to listen to us if you want them to listen to us. Or if you don't like us, then tell your enemies to listen to us. And the joke's on them.
Interesting take.
Yeah. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. Jump down at the bottom, leave us a rating or review. Thanks again for listening to Oil and Whiskey with the Roadster Shop, an Ironclad original. Thanks again to our guest, Jeremy Carey. We'll see you again next week.